The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name, as you may know by now, is Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course, the demented and fermented,
Lil Hot and Ready.
that guy right there. We are in the basement. We're home. We're back. We're in the studio. This is the closest thing we're going to get to a studio for a long time. But,
That's true.
yeah, we brought it back home because we have a couple guys joining us from Good Homebrew Club, from Saints Homebrew Club, which is very exciting. A couple guys we've known before. One guy who's a new friend of the show. But, gentlemen, we'll go down the lines if you don't mind introducing yourselves. We have
Brad Diodato.
We have
Carl Larson.
And
Jeremy Nye.
gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out here.
It's a pleasure.
I'm pretty sure along the way we probably had Saints beer, probably a Little Big Beer Fest. You guys were there pouring a couple of years in a row, if I remember right, or no?
We were both there with Bone Shy Brewer.
That's what it was.
Jeremy and I.
Sorry. Okay, but I'm sure we probably had some of the homebrew stuff along the way at some various events and
Sure, I think you guys did
shenanigans.
Bacon Brew Ha at one time.
Yes, that's where it was. I love that event. Oh, it's such a good event.
Gee, I wonder why.
It's bacon and beer. It doesn't get much goudier than that. There's a lot that we have to get through today, but of course, remember, you out there in the podcast land, the podcast diverse, you can interact with us. You can comment on things and look at the photographs and such that we post. If you go to Instagram or you go to Twitter, we are at Beer Busters. On Facebook, we are Beer Busters Podcast, and there is that phone number, 805-991-BEER, which is 805-991-2337.
Don't bother calling, though, because Dan will never listen to your message.
It's not true. I listened.
Yeah, Jen said she left us messages from Belgium, and you said...
Oh, were those the ones that you yelled at me for not telling you about? Oh, sorry. Jen left messages from Belgium.
Thanks.
Yeah, it'd be cool to hear him on the podcast, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it'd be cool to hear them, period.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Maybe in last call.
Yeah.
Let's see
Oh,
what
last call. Yeah, we're 20 people get to listen to it.
Well, it makes sense because they are patrons.
Yeah,
Which-
but it doesn't encourage people to call the phone number if nothing ever happens with their messages.
You want me to pull it up right now?
While Dan's looking for that, you know where else you can go on the internet? Speaking of last call, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters and sign up to become a patron of the podcast to help us support the Beer Busters train. You get cool behind-the-scenes perks. You get Beer Busters Last Call, our exclusive bonus podcast, and you get invited to special VIP events such as this recording session tonight in studio.
Yay!
You do have to pass a personality test. We won't just let anyone in.
Apparently you all passed. Must be low expectations.
More or less.
Expectations.
And a brief background check. But yeah, go to patreon.com/beerbusters to find out all the cool stuff that comes along with being a Beer Busters patron.
Yes, definitely.
Like all the pre-gaming beers.
Yeah, there were a lot of beers, pre-gaming beers.
Hey, Dan, Steph, and Wayne. It's Ron and Jen calling from the Night of the Great Thirst.
Hello.
I'm drinking all kinds of Cantillon here. I got Buffoon. I got Grand Cru. I don't know how to say it, Bruschetta or something like that. We got Iris. We got Goose Spoon, Bat 44, Old Lambic. We got, I don't know, something from Tilquin. We just have so much. Goose Spoon got 109, and I am wearing my Beer Buster shirt, but Ron isn't, so he gets kicked out of the Patreon club. Anyway, we'll see you guys when we get home. Call you tomorrow from the Great Thirst. Bye.
Well, those messages were awesome, Dan. I'm so glad you played them.
Me too. Thank you for calling, Jen and Ron. Well, we do have a lot we need to get to, so... I hate technology so much. There's a lot that's happened in the news world in the week it's been since we've actually recorded. 3 weeks until this episode goes
I'm sorry,
up.
that's going to be an awesome soundbite.
Yeah. It's a shame I'm the one that pulls those. There's a sports thing that happened, but it's not a sports thing in the way that's normally a sports thing on the podcast. San Diego Padres fan Gabby DeMarco did exactly what you're supposed to do when you happen to improbably catch a foul ball in your beer. You chug it.
I saw this. This is awesome.
Yeah, the video is great, so we got to get this up online if we can. During the Padres' embarrassing 14-1 loss to Atlanta, the Braves center fielder Ender Inciarte fouled one high and straight back into the stands, and the ball landed in her cup. Clearly still in disbelief, as I would be too. She probably wasn't purposely trying to catch it like this. She instantly downed the beer.
Well, wait. I take umbrage with that because it wasn't instant. If you actually watch the video...
Oh, that's true.
So what I want to know is, because obviously it's like from far away, there's no audio or anything. I'm wondering if people were like goading her on to chug it, because she like held it up for a while.
She is. She's holding it 1,
Yeah.
2,
like in disbelief,
3,
and at one point she goes
4,
to sit down again, but then she gets
5,
back up.
6.
So I feel like everybody
7,
around her was like, chug it,
8,
chug. You know what
9,
I mean?
Yeah.
10, 11.
Gotta get
She's still
play-by-play.
standing. 12, 13. She's holding it up. She's so freaking proud. 14, 15. Now she goes.
15.
15
What,
seconds
what,
later.
where's
And
this
half of it went down her chest.
However, after all this happened, of course, this is where you get your 15 seconds of fame. Reporter for, I believe it was ESPN, AJ Cassavell, did some sleuthing and spoke with her. The quote that he got was, "It bounced from behind me, and I wasn't trying to catch it at all, and then it landed in my cup." And then everyone's like, chug it, and then her friend chimed in. She was going to chug it anyway.
She was going to chug it anyway. Shows you guys.
Shows you guys.
That's pretty awesome, though. That's pretty cool. Any word on what the beer was?
No.
No?
That's a good question.
That
though.
is a very good question.
Yeah. Coming out of Easton, Pennsylvania. Hey, we know that place. After 14 years with Weyerbacher, Chris Wilson is leaving his position as brewmaster to pursue another opportunity with Free Will Brewing, of course, in Percy, Pennsylvania. Wilson will step into the role of chief production officer at Free Will. Chris has a quote here: "Weyerbacher has allowed me to grow as a brewer and as a manager," he said as he's reflecting on his time. He joined Weyerbacher in 2014 and was instrumental in helping them to grow into a regional craft brewery. His vision, extensive knowledge of the industry, and creativity allowed Weyerbacher to grow their portfolio to include award-winning beers, Sunday Morning Stout, of course, Imperial Pumpkin Ale, and Reserva. Chris has been a valuable team member and a great asset to Weyerbacher. While we're definitely sorry to see him go, we're excited for him as he looks forward to this next chapter, said Josh Lampe, who is the chief operating officer at Weyerbacher. So that's exciting. Get to go on to another brewery. Okay, Steph has a thing.
It was a Ballast Point Sculpin.
Oh, we got the beer.
Oh, is that what the beer
And
was?
she's also a fan of Modern Times.
She's going to feel that one.
Wow. I'm surprised you got that information. I'm impressed.
Yeah, me too. Good job.
Fact checking.
Fact checking.
Sorry, back to Chris.
That was pretty much about Chris.
Similar,
Good luck, Chris.
Similar situation in Sly Fox, though,
Yeah,
right?
Brian.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up on the show. I looked at it last week, but yeah, Brian O'Reilly is leaving Sly Fox to start his own brewery.
His own thing, though, yeah.
Which, is going to take over the building that Yards was in before they moved into their new facility.
Brian is my favorite sound clip ever.
Gonna go back in time.
Also,
And the other one.
Can't really stick your whole thumb in there.
You can't really stick your whole thumb in there.
Those are the two best sound bites on our board, in
They
my
really
opinion.
are. They
I
really
do
are.
like those. So, of course, we wish him the best as well.
do.
We can't wait
We
to
do.
record with you,
Yeah,
Brian.
we'll stalk him.
Hint, hint.
And congratulations to our good friend and early podcast guest,
Episode
Steve Armstrong,
Oh, yeah.
who Pottstown United Brewing finally opened this week, which is super exciting. So I was there opening night, and I did tell him I'd be back to stalk him and get him on the show again. So
Yeah, it's been a
we're very
long
excited.
time.
It's been a long time, and he had a Pilsner on it. It was delicious, so I was a happy girl.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to check that out. If you want to go back and hear Armstrong, back when he was Armstrong Ales, it was episode 8
And I recorded it on my iPhone.
on
did?
your iPhone, Beercules. And we also had him on Christmas, maybe the same year or the next year.
This day we were stupid enough to record 2 episodes
Yeah, that
in
was
one
terrible.
day.
Yes,
I took a nap in
yes.
between because I needed to.
Which was like episode 12 or 14-ish, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. If you go back in the archives,
The
you can
picture
find it.
is we were out in the snow.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It was called Have Yourself a Beery Little Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
I remember
so
that.
congratulations, Steve.
Yes, congratulations on that. Well, that is all I have in the world of news. But we have a lot that we have to tackle with our awesome guests who were kind enough to come out to the studio today. So as I mentioned, the gentlemen from Saints Homebrew are here. And
Bearded and tattooed, and Brad.
Well, this is a good week and a half growth right here.
Wow.
I am sorry to hear that.
So that's a week and a half shadow.
No lie, I am a member of Dollar Shave Club, and I get it. They usually do 4 razors for 1 month. I do it every 3 months.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
I had to cancel my subscription because I don't shave. Well, I have a beard trimmer, and then I'll trim my neck with that, so I don't actually use a razor anymore.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
You can shape it up as you want. Not that Dollar Shave Club is a sponsor or anything. However, if you'd like to sponsor us, checks are made payable to Beard Busters Media Limited.
Or our new spin-off podcast, Beard Busters.
Beard Busters. Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No,
Yeah.
we're not.
We could get Vargin in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saints Homebrew. How long has that been in existence?
It's probably been about 3 years now. We're relatively new, kind of a spin-off. We all started as rehab members, which sounds a little awkward here, but the regional Harrisburg area brewers.
Maybe that's what I was thinking earlier.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming from rehab, why the split? Or was it a split,
It's
or
not
was
even
it a
a
name change?
I think most of us are still rehab members, as a matter of fact. So
Oh, okay.
Jeremy and Brad, you're
Yep.
still a member?
Yep,
So
still a
Josh,
member.
Okay.
Josh Hockley. So the original crew, myself, Jeremy Nye, Josh Hockley, Ben Sieber, we just wanted to do a little bit more than just taste beer. We wanted to get together, experiment, maybe go down the judging path.
So the Homebrew Club sort of started with your desire to sort of push your hobby a little further along, I suppose.
We meet a little bit more. So we try to meet at least once a month, and it would start with a meeting, usually on the Wednesday or Thursday night, and we'd proceed to the next month of doing some sort of experimental collaboration brew with all the members. The very first one we did was a blonde ale, and it was just one big batch. I think we did 12 gallons and split into 1 gallon carboys. We all took home 1 gallon, did whatever we wanted to with it. Next month we came back and shared it.
Oh, super cool.
So
Very
different
cool.
dry hopping, I put mint in it, like mint leaves in it.
You put mint in all your beers.
I do.
So everybody knows that.
It's a secret ingredient.
Everybody's got their thing. It's your signature.
There's also a focus with the club on competitions. So we prefer to go to judged events, whether it's the popular vote or BJCP. It's just getting that feedback and learning from it. Learning how to enter beers into competition. There's a big learning curve with that. Making sure the beer in the bottles is of quality. Everything's sanitized, good to go. It tastes the same coming out of your tap in the bottle. So there's definitely a learning curve.
I appreciate that you take the feedback, because I was at a homebrew event for Philly Beer Week, and I try not to speak ill of anybody with what they put forward, but there's one beer I had there that was easily the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth, and I don't know how anyone would ever tell him that he liked it, but it was a sour beer that was very tomatoey and ketchupy, and it was just disgusting.
Was it supposed to be a sour beer?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what
That's
he
what he
claimed.
said.
There's been some festivals you go to and you taste a sour beer and it's not a sour beer.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, oops,
category
it's a sour
swap.
now.
Yeah, that's what they claimed.
Yep.
So it's been in existence for 3 years. Are you guys all founding members of?
We added Brad. Brad, where did you come from?
With your beardless face.
Actually, I did my first competition on my own, just kind of like I really wanted to get some feedback from people other than friends and family, because they obviously say they like my beer because they want to drink it.
I don't know. My family
And it's
doesn't tell me
free.
they like my beer.
No, your beer's terrible.
Well, that's true. So I did my first competition, and it was really hard because when you brew for yourself, 5 gallons, you spend 5 hours, with the beer, and you get attached to it, like emotionally attached. And then I go and I give it all away, and it's gone. And then
He's not only soft-faced, he's also soft-hearted.
yes, exactly. I think a little piece of my heart died that day because I came back with an empty keg. But that's where Josh, I guess, had one of my beers, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you go join the club?"
So you got picked up by Josh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
But there's a lot of things you can get from the popular votes as well. I mean, even though you're putting away 5 gallons, you're still seeing the people come up. They're drinking it right in front of you. So it's instantaneous feedback. They don't even have to say anything. You can see by the expression on their face.
You have that millisecond before, like, if they don't like it, that millisecond before, like, common courtesy kicks in, where you can kind of see it in their eyes.
Oh, this is good. And then 2 steps back, they
Yeah,
untap
yeah.
as like 1.
Yeah.
Meh.
Meh. Best rating ever.
But I think it's a good idea to have that focus on competition, that focus on getting, like, real, not only honest but also professional feedback from BJCP judged events and things like that, which I think a lot of homebrew clubs would benefit from.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, though. Is the desire to receive feedback and better yourself, or is it to win fucking medals?
Wow.
I'd say it's a little of both. Jeremy?
I know. I was waiting there.
Yep.
So what have you guys won so far?
Brad, yours was probably the most popular. It was last year?
2017, the Battle of the Homebrewers. I won the Dark and Hearty with Old Treebeard, maple, chocolate, bourbon stout.
Well, I'm sorry. What now?
That does sound pretty good.
Do you have an?
He's like, don't make me say it again.
Again, it's gone.
It's gone.
I mean, 5 gallons goes like that at these competitions.
Yeah. And for people that have listened to our podcast before, probably know what that event is. But for those who have not, that is sort of the big home brewing event during Harrisburg Beer Week, which is a lot of fun. We were very heavily involved in the first one, I guess. But we did not do the last few years. So many things.
So many things.
We need to clone ourselves during these beer weeks.
And what is so sad, I couldn't even get in this year because it's sold out. Or
yeah, there's a
Filled up.
limited
Filled up
number
so
of
quick.
spaces.
There's only
and-
35 brewers allowed.
Yeah,
into
it's
that now.
it's an event that homebrewers really want to do because it's
I think it was
so
within
awesome.
3 days. 3 or 4
No,
days.
it was within
No, it was
Like
hours.
same day.
within
Yeah.
an hour. I think it's
Wow.
it filled up.
so that's sort of your biggest, I guess, proudest moment as a homebrewer.
I think so. I mean, my chest puffed out just a little bit.
What about you guys?
I've only won one medal so far, and that was the bacon brouhaha last fall.
And what
And that
beer
was
was that
for
for?
a maple bacon donut stout.
Oh yeah.
I'm loving all these.
Dan is on
No, I don't
board.
have that one either.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those sound like the kind of beers that don't stick around long.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah, I
drinks
can
them.
imagine.
They'll go on pretty quick.
Since then, I've upped my production to 10-gallon batches, so that way I can keep one.
have some for yourself.
And then
That's a
give
good
one.
idea.
Give the rest
smart,
away.
that's
Yeah,
smart.
yeah.
So, Carl, which bacon beer did you win a medal in?
I won the bacon and brouhaha a couple years ago. I think it was 2016 with an IPA. It didn't have any bacon in it.
Baconless IPA.
It wasn't really juicy.
Baconless
so-
IPA. That's what it
I
should
mean,
be called.
I guess congratulations, but boo.
A baconless IPA.
So I'm curious, as a member of sort of a laid-back homebrew club myself, you guys seem to be pretty serious with pushing your craft and judging your beers, but how is your homebrew club structured? Like, is it open to the public? Can anyone join? Is there are there board members? Are there fees? Like how, or is it just a bunch of guys that are really serious about judging beers?
Right now we're small, and it's not structured completely well. So there's 8 of us now, I think, and we just kind of keep it closed and do our own thing right now.
One of the main requirements is really to participate. So we expect people to be at the meetings, participate in the brew sessions that we do. It's really important to be at each of them. So that's probably the biggest thing. Just willing to participate, being part of a team is pretty important to us. But no real leadership. We've never really declared anybody being in charge. So,
Carl's in charge.
Carl's in charge.
Carl's in charge.
not Charles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl's, it's always your fault.
It's really whenever we can come up with a date when everybody can meet on like a Wednesday or Thursday, we hit that first meeting, and then the next brew day would be a Saturday or a Sunday the next month, and we just kind of leapfrog like that, and it seems to work pretty well. Reach out on text and just say, who's free Wednesday or Thursday, what time works best.
Right.
It's really just getting 8 people together. It shouldn't be too difficult. So.
Right.
So if it's more of like a team thing, the willingness to be part of the team, do you more often brew individually and bring them to the meeting, or do you do group brews
It's
at
been
all?
it's been both.
Cool.
Like I said, the Blonde Ale, we all kind of brewed together, and the beer left that day. We did a saison where we all came up with a recipe, and we thought, what do the individual brewing systems do to this beer when it leaves? It's the same recipe. Let's use the same ingredients. I just got a beer passed to me.
That happens
Jeremy
when you're in the
for a
studio.
second. There you go.
It's going to happen a lot.
Yeah, so what happens if everybody gets the same recipe, they go home, and they brew the same beer, then we come back the next month and try it, and they're not completely different, but there's nuances, there's differences.
Oh,
Could we all get
that's
the same ingredient? Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. That was probably one of the more memorable ones.
Was there bacon involved in that one?
Not bacon, coriander.
What
Orange
about-
peel.
Is
So.
that-
Are you, are you
almost
saying
the
we need
same
more
thing.
bacon in our
Is
beers?
that supposed to be a trade-off? I'm confused.
I thought the Rickroll was one of the.
Yeah, Pumpkin
you want
Rickroll was
popular
a
ones.
club
You
brew.
want to explain that one, Brad?
No, that's all you, man.
So we were doing
want
the Fall Harvest Beer Festival at Brewery at Hershey, and we decided to do a pumpkin beer. So we did a pumpkin milk stout that we smoked the pumpkin for I don't know how many hours.
3 hours with brown sugar and cinnamon on it.
Yeah, it was rubbed with brown sugar and cinnamon, smoked, and then we added that to the mash and to the boil, I believe.
Yep.
And
then we got a mash stuck a little bit.
yeah, it was
We,
bad.
we had to go buy some pieces of equipment to fix that.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I think I admire that your goal is to better yourself through this, but I have to imagine that the 8 of you must have some serious brewing background or some experience with judging beers in order to make this club meaningful. Like, it's not just a group of 8 guys that homebrew. There has to be more to it. So do each of you kind of want to talk about what is that something special that you bring to the table and sort of add to the club?
I've been brewing since about 2011, 2010. Got involved really early on with kits from Scotts and Brothers. Escalated really quickly into all grain and just building bigger and bigger systems. The biggest thing for me is process. I love the process of brewing. I love going to visit breweries and brewers and seeing what they're doing different. It's not just shiny little vessels on the side of the wall to me. It's, how are they hopping? Are they using hop rockets? How are they doing that? How are they moving the fluid back and forth? And if you ever see my system at home, I have multiple pumps. I can go any direction with it. So it's really just building that process up to make the perfect wort to ferment. So from there, I have a little professional brewing experience. I was with Boneshire for about a year.
Which is where our listeners probably have heard your voice before.
Yes.
When we had the 8,000 people from Boneshire on that episode.
The 24 owners. And,
Jeremy was there as well.
Yeah.
So,
but you've brewed more than just at Boneshire, right?
I did. I brewed a batch at Alsahampton Pizza Boy Brewing with Terry, which was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Super smart guy, mad scientist. That was a Belgian Pale Ale for a Learn to Homebrew event that I ran for 2 straight years. I think it was 2015, 2016 for Harrisburg Beer Week. I do still like teaching those classes. It's just really hard to find a venue willing to take on the event with propane and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
What about the propane accessories?
burning stuff. Yep.
Okay.
I also brewed at Jigsy's Brew Pub for 3 batches, which Jeremy helped me out. I think that's actually where we grew our relationship was that year at Jigsy's.
That's because I cleaned a lot.
He did clean a lot. he tore apart the fermenters that he didn't know how to do. So 3 beers there. It was pretty much one opening night, and the beers were kicked. It was 10-gallon sink Sabco-like system.
Mm-hmm.
So not much there. And then luckily Alan brought me on at Boneshire. Learned a ton from him. Just couldn't take the work-life balance of having I worked for the Navy, so working full-time with the Navy, being at the brew house on Friday, going to beer events, that kind of stuff kind of burned me out a little bit. So took a step back, realized I just wanted to do home brewing, and now we're focusing on the club, focusing on competitions. So
Very cool.
And we mentioned some of the accolades that you guys have received, but looking at the notes here, you've got quite a few medals under your belt.
Yeah, I had a really good 2015 and 2016. Yeah. So there was a Battle of Fredericksburg. I took a silver, which is really what kicked it off. That's a huge event. I think there was like 400 beers entered. In the category alone, I want to say there's 30 or 40, which is awesome. Lancaster Iron Brewer, I have 2 medals there. I also, based on the win in 2015 for a BJCP event, I got into the Great American Beer Fest Pro-Am with Wynwood Brewing. One of my buddies from high school is the head brewer down there at Wynwood in Miami.
Oh, how cool.
So I flew down there during Harrisburg Beer Week on a Monday, brewed Tuesday, flew home Wednesday.
Holy crap.
My wife looked at me like I was nuts, but we did it. It was in March or April, Harrisburg Beer Week, and flew back to Denver. I got a brewer's pass. I stayed with the brewing team at Wynwood in Denver. Got to go to every event at Great American Beer Fest. Didn't win, but my beer was served along with like Sierra Nevada, Stone.
That's cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was amazing.
That's worth the jaunt to Florida. I mean, you brew a beer that's going to be a GABF. I mean, you got to do it.
Yeah, I stood behind people. They're in pitchers, so you put your beer in there. I wasn't allowed to pour it for them, but I just stood behind probably 100 people as they poured the beer in the glass and drank it, and you could instantly see their expression. It was just amazing.
Oh,
and a lot of
awesome.
people actually take the time to go to the Pro-Am table, and there's like 20 beers on tap for the Pro-Am. So
Wow.
Nice.
When I grow up, I really want to be like Carl.
Yeah.
But to qualify for the JBF Pro-Am, you just need a BGCP win. It doesn't say it has to be a gold. It doesn't say best
Just
of show.
a win. Oh, yeah.
It's a win, and you got to have some brewery pick you up and take you along with you. And
Right,
agree to do the beer. The beer has to be sold in the market. So my beer was actually being sold at the brewery in Wynwood and in all the local restaurants, even in like South Beach, as like a dessert beer. It was paired with like chocolate and some other. It was Catherine, the Russian Imperial Stout.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yum.
And you've also taught some home brewing courses, including some that have been part of Harrisburg Beer Week.
Yep. Yeah, I wish I could keep doing that again. I was having problems finding a facility, but if anybody wants to take me on to teach a class, I love doing it. It's a great time.
Cool.
So that's really just to learn to homebrew. We'll get an extract kit or come up with an extract.
Right.
Brew it on location. The best scenario is when Terry agreed to have the Belgian Pale Ale brewed and ready to serve that day, and we actually brewed that beer, so people could see what the outcome was going to be.
The whole process.
That's really cool.
And so that's like a beginner. Like I just want to like start to get into this. I can come and
Right.
learn
Like what equipment do you need? What
Right.
ingredients? That kind of stuff.
Right.
So
sounds right up your alley, Dan.
Oh, sure.
let's
From
do
Mr.
it.
Beer.
You can come over to my house anytime. I still have people come over once in a while. For the last 2 years, I've auctioned myself off for the Humane Society's Furball Gala, the Harrisburg Area Humane Society. And I've taught 2 people how to homebrew on my setup, and then they get 2 cases of beer out of it that's bottled.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
pretty awesome,
That's
yeah.
fun.
So is there any experience needed to join Saints Homebrew?
I wouldn't, not necessarily.
Okay.
You know, if we see that you have good beers, I don't think we're picky, and I don't think we will say no to people. I think the biggest requirement is to actually show up and be willing to participate as a member of the team, and just be at the meetings consistently.
And be serious about the craft.
Yeah, if you skip 2 months back to back, or even go to one, miss one, go to another one, you're going to be out of the loop a little bit.
Yeah.
So we kind of need you there and ready to contribute. A lot of the stuff the club owns, we've all purchased together. So, it's hard. If somebody leaves, it's hard to give back that money. It's just a contribution to the club.
Right.
We got a banner from Hophead. Hophead's made it, right? Or
You guys are in Harrisburg and you have a banner.
Yeah, of course we do.
yeah.
It was Collision Media that made it, but
Well, yeah,
Hophead's-
Collision, man.
Same thing.
same difference.
So if
Bart
there's-
made it.
If there's somebody who is really looking to get into homebrewing and take it really seriously but has not done it before, would you take them on as a member, or would you want them to have the experience first?
I think we could definitely talk to them and see what they're all about. So, like I said, we're still part of Rehab, Regional Harrisburg Area Brewers. That's how we meet a lot of people, and I think that's how we all met, except for Brad. Brad got picked up by Josh. So.
Pretty much.
Brad's really an outlier in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Including the fact that you operate a hot dog stand.
Yes. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Lowe's of Harrisburg.
I don't think so.
No, I don't believe
Wait,
so.
is that the one off of...
Union Deposit.
Yes, I have been
Yes,
there,
yes,
actually.
yes.
In fact, the spice rack in our pantry is from that Lowe's.
There you go.
I used to do scoring conferences at Patan in Harrisburg, and we stayed at the hotel right there on Union Deposit. And, you need stuff to do in the evening, and, so we went to Lowe's.
There you
Then
go.
we got chocolate cake at the restaurant across the street.
I do have to say, we do have the best hot dogs in Harrisburg, self-proclaimed.
I feel like I need to try one of these hot dogs. Do you have a hot dog with you?
I got a pocket dog. Hold on.
Please tell me you have tater tots on the other one.
So
tots.
the name is BBD Concessions, but might I recommend you change it to Pocket Dog?
Yes. Welcome to Pocket Dogs.
There's always money in the Pocket Dog.
I get that one.
Hey!
I love when I get your
round of
references.
applause for Steph, everybody.
Understanding pop culture since 2018.
Go fuck yourself. I watched Arrested Development before 2018.
Wait, did you guys mark that? We were first curse.
That was not the first curse.
Was it?
Oh my god,
Was
no.
it? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Seriously.
I just lost $5.
But your hot dog skills are not the only thing you bring to the table. You're also Cicerone certified.
Well, technically, it's level 1 Cicerone beer server. I know a lot of people in the business. I don't want to say make fun of it because it's a front of the house type thing.
Yeah.
Serving beer, pouring beer. But it was actually through the win. Battle of the Homebrewers was one of the prizes was you get to take the test for free. And
Oh, that's cool.
Jeff Musselman of Millworks was teaching it, and he's such a great guy. I can't
He
say
is. We'll be
enough.
recording there this fall.
He is amazing. Like, he'll sit there and just chat with you, and I want to be like him too.
Aw.
Got a lot of role models.
Can't grow up.
Yes, I know.
So.
This is true.
So what about you, Jeremy? I mean, we know you've brewed at Boneshire.
Yeah, I've brewed at Boneshire for a couple batches.
I thought he was going Canadian on us there.
And then
I brewed it.
I bartended there since they opened up until about a month ago there. My regular job got busy, so I had to leave there also. But home brewing I've been doing for about 4 years now. I like to brew like big, heavy, malty beers.
Dan style beers.
Yeah. Not a huge IPA fan.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
We're kindred spirits.
What got you into homebrewing originally?
Really, it was just my wife and I were walking through, it was like Bed Bath & Beyond of all places, and they had
A homebrew kit?
a homebrew kit at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Wow.
It was just a little 1 gallon kit from Brooklyn Brew Shop up in New York.
Yeah.
And we picked it up. I brought it home, played around with it a little bit. Thought, this is easy, nothing to do, or nothing hard to do. So made like 2 or 3 1 gallon batches out of it. And then I thought, well, this ain't enough. So I went to 3 gallon batches. That lasted, I think, 2 brews, and then went to 5 gallons. And then just recently upgraded to 10. But
And they don't sponsor us at all, but I also started with the Brooklyn Brew Shop kits, and they're amazing.
Yeah, they're a great little kit
because
it comes
you learn
with everything.
It comes with everything. It's all grain right from the start, but it's only a gallon, so if you fuck up, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And when I've been homebrewing for quite a while, so when I started, there were like 3 options.
Yeah.
And now they have a whole portfolio of kits that you can get, and it's really awesome. So if there's anyone out there that's interested in getting into it, but doesn't want to spend a crap ton of money and doesn't want to have to deal with a shit ton of beer, they're really, really awesome kits. And now you can buy them at like freaking Whole Foods and like
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Like when I bought them, you had to order them online and wait for them to be shipped to your house. But they're awesome. I think I still have my 1 gallon carboy somewhere upstairs.
I do too. Yeah. It's in a bin and amongst all the other brewing equipment.
And they have a great recipe book too that I've used, because a few of the recipes I really liked, and I'm like, I want to, tweak these and make bigger batches of them. And then instead of having to buy the kit, I just bought the book, and then I just bought my own ingredients. Right. But yeah, really, really awesome company. I wish
they
would
should be a
sponsor us.
sponsor. I was going to say we should give them a call. Oh, we also need to retroactively say that Dollar Shave Club is also not a sponsor, which I need to say because they sponsor like every other podcast in existence except ours.
Wait, I thought I said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you cover that already?
It never hurts to say it twice, though.
Okay, we've been talking too long, and we have yet to actually drink one of yours.
Yes,
I was going to say we need to.
So let's open a few of these.
A Saints beer.
Well, this will determine if this episode continues or we kick them out.
Preferably bacon.
So I know you guys. Did you guys all bring your own coolers?
Yes.
Because I was going to recommend.
Are we up to 6 coolers in the basement right now?
It's a basement episode. There's beer everywhere. What I was going to say is, like, if we just try a random beer without knowing which one of you brewed it and try to guess who brewed it.
Oh, geez. Well, first then, we need to ask a few questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we know. Okay, we know you,
Jeremy brews
not IPAs, big dark malty beers. We know Brad does like it was your IPAs. You brew a lot of. I don't know if we talked about it, but it says that in the notes.
Hot dog beers.
Hot dog beers.
Hot dog beers and
flavored
IPAs.
water.
Is that
hot dog beer?
Hot dog flavored water. Chocolate
probably.
starfish.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? IPAs and hot dog beers?
No, I'm not
Chocolate stouts.
I'm not really adventurous when it comes. I'm not going to make like a olive and mayonnaise beer or something like that.
That sounds gross.
But I have
drink that.
I have heard some of the stuff that you guys have heard that you guys tried some
classic,
different
true to
stuff.
style beers, not too
Yeah.
adventurous. It actually says that here.
Yeah, I like to just go down the line and do my thing.
I
Hey, there's
respect
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
And Carl, what do you like to brew?
I love brewing stouts. I'm just getting into lagers, so I'm kind of focusing my attention on that.
Oh,
Right.
so I hope there's some lagers in these bottles.
Yeah, lager.
Okay, so let's open something.
So, is there a
random.
way we can get a bottle without seeing where it comes from?
They pick. We'll cover our eyes.
All right.
Well, I think
Okay.
they already
Way.
put them all randomly under the table. So.
Well, yeah, but
They got to shuffle them around like 3-card Monty style.
somebody's got to know.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good point. Thank you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Somebody
so
needs to know what fucking beer it
You
is.
guys pick something. I'm going to look away.
Do you
want to pass glasses over before
Let me tell you, this makes
Yeah, why don't we do
great
that?
radio.
Why don't we pass glasses over?
Well, there's a bottle on the table now. It doesn't
All right.
matter. I don't
All
know
right,
who it's
cool.
from.
Turn it
Just
around.
pass it around. It doesn't matter.
I don't know where it came from.
We don't know where it came from, so it's fine.
I don't know who you are or where
Did
you
I
came
lose
from.
a glass?
Carl will just always pick the bottles.
I
and put them
passed it
down.
over because I thought we were doing it that
we
way.
were doing it
It's
that
dark.
But then it turned out we weren't doing it that
Well,
way.
it could be dark. I mean, clearly they've all said they brew dark beers.
Okay, this is definitely not Brad. Brad would not put coffee in a beer.
Very good point. Very good point.
True. Oh my God, it's delicious though. Ooh, am I sick or do I get peanut butter in the back end?
I feel like
You're having
I don't think we can answer that right now.
It's a stroke.
Was that
you're
a?
having a stroke.
Oh,
toast.
wait, I have a cheat sheet.
Oh, you're not.
get out of
Wait, is there a list? Or is there a list in the notes?
Holy fuck.
I'm gonna say that it's Jeremy.
No.
Ah,
Well, if it's not Jeremy, it must be Carl.
No, sir.
It's Brad.
It's really Brad?
The beardless wonder.
The beardless wonder.
Is this always double down on 11?
Yes, I think naming beers is like half the battle. I usually just rip off like movie quotes or something. Did
Right.
I say rip off? I borrow them.
Well, I mean, if it's
pay homage.
if it's
Yeah.
homebrew, you don't have to worry about
yeah.
it. That's
So
fine.
like the always double down is actually from Swingers. I don't know. It's kind of obscure, but
not familiar.
yeah. See, there you
I
go.
saw it years ago, but I saw it. This is great.
The
though.
more
This
important
really
question
good.
is this on Untapped?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Come on, Steph, you know what you gotta do.
Carl hasn't taught me everything about.
I screwed up with the beard thing, so why go any further?
It's hard for me to drink a beer that I can't check in. So
Aren't you coming up on 10,000?
I am, yeah.
I told her I'm brewing her 10,000th.
Nope.
Not until you take a couple classes with Carl.
Nope. You can brew 10,001 because
No.
most likely that'll be an epic night and I'll probably be drunk by then.
Oh, gee, thanks.
So yeah, no peanut butter, but I doubled down on the coffee. I put some in the boil and then also some in the cold pressed in the secondary, and I doubled down on the chocolate.
You're doubling down on doubling down.
What kind of chocolate did you use?
I used some cocoa nibs, and then I used a bittersweet baking
Symphony.
bar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What kind of coffee?
Shoot. The was Sumatran. Is that
Okay.
how you say it?
Sumatran.
And then Kona.
Okay, but was it like a specific company?
Shoot. No, I wish I
Or
could.
just random,
yeah.
like whatever. And did you cold brew yourself, or was it?
Yeah, I cold brewed it.
Cool.
Used the French press.
Mhm.
Is that what it is?
Cool.
So.
So
very good.
this is out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Other than that, I just like to let the yeast do most of the work.
So how did it feel brewing something out of your comfort zone?
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's what these guys are
That's
for.
good, yeah.
Right.
You know, so.
Do you feel like being part of this group of homebrewers has pushed you to go out of your comfort zone and brew things that you wouldn't have normally brewed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When they found me.
When you were picked up by Josh?
Yes, when I was picked up by Josh. I really, I was reading line by line recipes and whatnot, and they brought me in and they're like, I'm trying all these different types of beers because I only brewed IPAs, and they're like, no, you got to try this, and then watch. Actually, I learned so much watching them on their own systems. Taught me so much more. At that point, I was just listening to podcasts, reading books, and I was in the information soaking. But you can only do so much. You have to see and do, and so like
And drink.
of course, exactly. So, I definitely recommend joining a homebrew club. It helps so much.
So why are homebrew clubs a thing? Why do you think?
I think there's definitely a social aspect to it, and you get to stand around and drink beer on a table. It's like a bottle share every event. But I think everybody wants more information. They always want the feedback, so that's probably the most important thing. A lot of my good friends now are homebrewers or regular craft brewers. So it's, I don't know, you just kind of find your way to your home or to your friends. So
Just go to your
yeah,
home.
homeward bound.
Get in your hole. But I think any sort of creative endeavor like that has groups and clubs that sort of naturally congregate because you want to.
It's
talk
like
shop with
like-minded
people who do the same thing. You want to,
Like-minded people and
experience everybody's work.
But that's why, like, if I get my hands on a rare beer, maybe not home brewed, first thing I want to do is call these guys and brag about it.
Mm.
But then I want to call them and then share it with them.
Right.
I mean, I could
There's a
just
lot of
drink it by
camaraderie
myself,
with it.
in the corner, But no, just sharing is caring.
There is a
That's
sense
true.
of pride. I mean, when you brew something, especially when it's something super good, you do want to share it with people. And it's especially rewarding when you share it with other people that do the same thing and can respect what you've created. There is a sense
Absolutely.
of pride.
And I also imagine, getting back to you guys being focused on like competitions and entering competitions and being judged and stuff, as a home brewer who has maybe been brewing for a while and is just now thinking about joining a homebrew club, it's probably a lot less scary to join a homebrew club and share your beer with other homebrewers and get feedback before jumping into, okay, now I'm going to put this in front of an actual judge.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it gives you that little extra buffer.
It also it teaches you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
If somebody's looking at they drink your beer and they just kind of look at you and smile, it's probably not that good. But hopefully you can ask, what do you think about this beer? And they'll tell you, it's got this or that. I'm tasting this. So definitely get the feedback.
Well, and I think if you've been brewing long enough, like you can tell, is this the kind of person that I can be honest with and that truly wants my honest opinion? Or is this someone that I need to say, hey, this is pretty good?
Yeah.
Or-
I think you can gauge that pretty easily.
Hey, it's quite tasty.
Or they can diagnose a problem. Like Carl has an amazing palate. I still am looking for the words, this beer's good. And Carl,
Citrus.
yeah, Carl will be like, these are South African snozberries.
The best kind of snozberries.
The only kind of snozberries, right? All right, so I'm looking at the list, and we have a lot of beers to drink. So I feel like we need to
fire up another one. We do the
fire
same
this
thing.
up.
You want to guess again?
Well, I
Sure,
feel like
let's do
Steph
it.
probably knows at this point if she's looking at the
I
list.
will scroll up.
We
sees
all
the
have
whole
the
list.
list.
I know, but we have self-control. You and I, Wayne. She
Well,
does not.
let's not get carried away, Dan. I don't have self-control.
My self-control
look
is not
away?
eating the rest of this pizza.
Okay,
Yeah, we're looking
go.
away. We're looking away.
I'm looking down.
We're going to pull a bottle out
Pull a
from under
bottle
the table.
and then pass it.
Pull and pass. Pull and pass. See, now the thing though is, if they all use like slightly different bottles, we're going to get used to whose bottles whose.
We're homebrewers. They all look the same.
I was going to say, our bottle
Yeah,
caps
it
might
looks
be
pretty
the only
much the
giveaway.
same as the other one.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll pass it around.
Look it
this
up.
way.
All right, cool.
I'll gladly start.
I do have a trick. I can.
Let's try not to pour so much this time so our patrons can actually try this one.
I actually have extra of the other one I can give them.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Remember, patreon.com/beerbusters.
That's right.
You can come and we will give you lots of beer.
I'll show you guys my trick. My wife hates it, but I can open up a bottle with my
the-
my wedding ring.
Nice.
I saw somebody break their wedding ring doing
Nice.
that.
Just now, actually.
Yeah. Oh no. Shit.
Ladies, do you want to get your man to wear his wedding ring? Well,
Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting fruit.
yeah.
Definitely fruit. So again, I'm going to say not Brad, but we were wrong the last time. All right. I think we all posit a guess before they tell us. I'm going to say Carl.
Carl, yeah, without a doubt.
I'm saying Carl.
Carl.
All right, we all agree.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't
I was gonna
Oh,
buck
it's
the
a
trend, and I
Jeremy.
didn't.
Fuck. This is Peach Bottom Saison. Is it on Untapped?
Yes, it should.
Yes.
Nice.
Come on, people, help me out.
Dang, you guys need to help me with the brewery name so I can go on.
You mean
tap
you don't
now.
have like Saints Homebrew on there? You should just make that the
I guess
brewery
yeah. We
name.
Yeah,
could,
that's on there.
Let's be seen.
Is it?
Yep.
Thanks again, Carl.
Why am I just learning this now?
Aw.
Coral.
So this is really nice. The peach, what form and how was it added?
It was all added in secondary, but it was just like canned peaches,
Okay.
and then a little bit of extract just to boost it up a little bit.
Are you Tough Arm Brewing?
I was
Nice.
going to ask.
I guess that one's taken.
Yes.
You should have called it Peach Fuzz Saison in honor of Brad.
For the patrons there's another bottle of that then too. They can pass around.
Brad, open that one with your
Oh, you could be Shaved Brewing.
Babyface Brewing Company.
Babyface Brewing.
ring. You asked for our help, right?
So is this Saison like the base? Is it something you've brewed before and you just said, hey, I'm going to throw peaches in it?
The base beer was actually one of our projects that we did,
Okay.
where we all brewed base saison on our home systems, and then compared every beer to see how everybody's different system was
Right.
varied there, and it was actually surprising using the same ingredients with everything. How much of a difference there was between
Right, just between the
water
system.
chemistries
Yeah.
and everything like that play effect.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's interesting. That'd be really cool to do something like that, to sample
Yeah,
the same
for
beer in
sure.
different
Yeah,
systems.
like different,
I would enjoy that.
different mash tun sizes, whether it's stainless steel.
Yeah.
If it's a cooler, it could have been different boiler setup, fermenters, carboys versus stainless, or lots of different options, lots of different outputs.
So you each have your own equipment, but then there is club equipment, correct?
The club equipment is kind of the jockey box and the stuff that we use at events. Jeremy bought the washer, the glass washer.
And those are the things that Brad walks away from all the time, right? I heard something about that.
He does wander a little bit during Beer Fest.
I mean, once I get that beer pumping in me,
Gets
I
so
just
excited.
Well, what was the meme? There's like the little
There was
penguin
a
that's
little
jumping
penguin
around, going like
that,
crazy, and
jumps
that's me at
around all
Beer
over the
Fest.
place. So,
Yeah, that's where I lose self-control too.
Yeah.
So then you do brew together. So whose system do you brew on then when you brew together?
We've used mine a few
Mostly
times.
on Carl's.
We've used Jeremy's. We did the pumpkin Rickroll at Jeremy's. We've done one at Dave's. We've done one at Ben Sieber's house. His is actually in the basement, which is awesome for the winter. He has ventilation and everything.
I was
So
gonna say.
well thought out. Yeah.
Sometimes breweries will let us brew on their system. We've done Tattered Flag.
Yep.
Brew and then they sold it. That's
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
That was one of the cool things when we recorded at Tatterflag. They talked about how like they'll have people come in and like homebrewers come in and brew on the system, and
they sold
yeah.
out in was it a day or two?
It was a few days. So we did
was a weekend.
We did a 10-barrel batch.
10-barrel.
They actually let us do it on the big setup.
And they sold out in a weekend.
They kept the regular saison off to the side, and they took I think it was a barrel or 2 barrels of into 2 different fermenters, and we added red grape must into one, white grape must in the other, and they sold it as 3 different saisons.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, really interesting project.
Actually, have that beer here if you want to try it, too.
Nice. We'll have to get to that.
Let's open it now.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Not that one.
Oh,
He's
you've
got
your
a
own
branded growler.
Ah.
Tough Farm Brewing.
Got his name on it, too.
Oh, nice.
That was my Father's Day gift from my daughter.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cool. So we've got a white
This is it?
base and a red. Is that right?
It's just the white and the red right now.
Oh, just the white
We
and
don't
red.
have
Okay.
any more base.
Oh, okay.
So which one is this? Which one did you just hand
I
me?
believe that's the white.
White.
Yeah, you'll know the difference
Wait.
between
Oh, yeah.
the two. It's
The
pretty-
red is red.
Yeah.
The white is white.
Ooh, I like how both the bottles ended at me.
It's red. So definitely an interesting project to do when you
All right,
add-
I definitely got 2 of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Something went wrong here. What's that? This is definitely
That's the white.
these 2 are both white.
Okay.
Because I was like, wait, am I colorblind?
Yeah, I'm
For a
looking
second?
across the table.
That's definitely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Oh,
go. I guess I'll just have to drink more of this one.
Oh, that looks different.
The red or the white?
So as
Bottle
the
of red.
as the saison took off fermenting, we let it go for about a day or 2. High rosin, the yeast is going. That's when we added the white grape must and the red grape must. Added more sugar. Had no idea what the gravity is. There's really no way to tell. It goes down a little bit as it was initially fermenting. You're adding more sugar to it, so it's a wild card.
All over the place, yeah.
I think we nailed the balance of it because my wife says it tastes too much like beer, and I think it tastes like wine.
It does
So
taste
it must
very,
be kind of
yeah,
like
for
in
me,
between.
it's like the I just had the white, and it was very wine.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Surfing bear? Is that you guys?
No.
Oh, for this,
Someone
what is it listed as?
fucking Catalina wine mixer on Untapped by Surfing Bear. Is that from something?
You might be
Yeah.
able to,
I don't get that reference.
Step Brothers.
I don't think I've
Fucking
ever seen
Catalina
that.
wine
Yeah.
mixer. Oh, how have you know? What?
Here we go.
Oh, you're not going to get some of my other references.
We'll probably get them. If not, I most certainly will.
You can search under Tattered Flag, maybe.
Then they
Does
probably don't have fucking in it. huh?
Does it
I
go
think it was
under-
effing.
It was they had asterisks or something like F asterisk.
There it is. Yep.
Whoop.
Oh no, it's
Damn,
just
there's
under
a-
Catalina wine mixer, not effing or anything.
There's a lot. Oh, and red and white are both
Yep.
on here.
I need blue.
One more step closer to that 10,000.
Getting there, yeah.
I'm working on it.
So do
know
you
it.
have? I know you said that the gravity you had no idea. Do you have any idea like whereabouts? Because it tastes like it's kind of high.
It should be about. I'm thinking 8 to 9.
Okay.
It was the initial saison was aiming around 5 to 6.
Okay. Because I mean, it's boozy in a very wine kind of way. It's really nice.
And it definitely fermented all the way down. I think it finished at like 10:04 or 5, pretty low. So it's got that nice tartness to it.
Surprisingly, I think I prefer the white, which I didn't think was going to be the case.
The red's a little dry.
Which is nice.
The red is super cherry.
And and it's a lot more. It feels more grapey than winey, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but
You just want to keep showing off.
I know,
anyway.
I know.
Look,
I don't have a tough arm, but I got a tough finger.
I just keep doing it till it breaks. I want to be here when it breaks.
Episode title. Sorry, I can't ask questions. I'm distracted by Untapped right now.
I think I'm kind of with you, Wayne. I think the red one is a little like grapey, more or less, and the white one is more like a wine.
Yeah, they're both really good, but I think I prefer the white
Yeah.
a little bit. But
and it's totally changed because this is aged for, I mean, how was it,
So
a
about
year?
a year and a half.
Year and a half. Jeez, man.
Yeah. This project came about, one of our club members, Ben Sieber, he was going through his basement and found one of those winemaking kits. And he's like, I don't know what to do with it. And we're like, let's put it in beer, see what happens. So
why not? Why not?
Wine, not.
And I think you were talking to somebody at Tattered Flag and got them on board with it.
yeah, we pitched the idea to them. They took it. So
It's not traditional, so I pushed back.
And they said you're new and you can't grow a beard. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so sad.
I feel so bad for you.
I feel so bad.
The tears are on the inside.
Yeah, that's where they belong.
So, Carl, while you and I were going back and forth talking about what the hell we were going to talk about on this episode, you had a very interesting question that I do want to talk about before we get too intoxicated. You said, where is homebrewing going? And that actually got me thinking, because I think about when I started homebrewing and when I started drinking beer, the landscape is so different now. Not only because of the thousands of breweries that have opened in the last 5 to 10 years, but also all of these people that all of a sudden have become homebrewers, and also all of these homebrewers that all of a sudden are now going pro or opening their own breweries, which is a whole nother conversation. But we're kind of seeing where craft beer is going, and I think people are starting to make predictions about where that's going, and some of them are founded. But it is an interesting question to talk about, where is homebrewing going? Because it used to just be a hobby that a few people did, but I think it's more than that.
I think my biggest observation so far has been, I think we hold the key, homebrewers hold the key to traditional styles and historic beers. Because I think the craft brewers are starting to lose sight of that. Like, how often do you go to a brewery and you look around for an ESB and it's just not there, or it's got some kind of twist that's not traditional. So if somebody wants to learn about the style, where do they go to get the ESB or a mild or something like that? Lots of homebrewers are still doing those styles, and pretty consistently, and they're doing them very well. So,
don't you think it used to be the other way around?
I think so. Well, a lot of brewers, in any podcast, it starts out with professional brewers saying they brew what they want to drink. And you hear our friend Albert DeBach, he's kind of like an honorary club member. He comes to our meetings once in a while. He couldn't get Belgian-style beers, and he's excellent at making that style. So
he's the head brewer at Springgate now.
Mm-hmm.
I think head.
So, and a lot of them are saying that, and now we go out to the craft breweries, and you might get a Russian Imperial Stout. Hopefully you get an American Stout. You're going to get a lot of IPAs. You're going to get 3 or 4 of them. You might get a Belgian. So it's just hard to find those other styles.
I wonder, and I've never homebrewed.
Yes, you have.
Well, I've helped
with me.
I've helped homebrew.
I put you to work.
You did, yes, but I've never myself homebrewed. But I kind of feel like as craft beer drinkers and as a market gets bigger and bigger, I feel like earlier on, people who were into craft beer also knew homebrewers, or at least connected to homebrewing in some kind of way. But now that there's so much craft beer everywhere, do you feel like the consumers of craft beer have grown faster than the number of people that are actually homebrewing, and now homebrewers are a much smaller slice of that?
And I've heard a couple homebrewers that have actually stopped homebrewing, and they're like, I stopped because I can get really good craft beer now in my local area. That's why some of them
and it's
joined.
a lot cheaper.
It's cheaper, and there's such a wide variety. Mm-hmm. But going back to my first point, it's the traditional styles that I think they're starting to lose their mark in the historic beers.
Yeah.
If you go, I've started judging as a BJCP judge. I'm waiting on my final results from the tasting exam, but I've done 3 competitions so far. Not many beers being entered in the traditional styles anymore.
Yeah.
Your milds, your ESBs, that kind of stuff. So, and it just kind of shows where everybody's going.
Yeah. So that's our key in the fight against New England IPAs, the homebrewers.
No, I just refuse to drink them.
But with that point,
Same here.
I see homebrew lager coming out. People are going to be doing a lot more of it. It's easier to get temperature control devices now.
Yeah.
All you need is a temperature control device, a refrigerator or a chest freezer, and some way to put a probe in the thermal well, and you're good for lagering. Wow. So it's really that easy.
That's an interesting point. As homebrewing as a hobby, because Steph talked about how when you were first getting your Boston the brew kits, Brooklyn, not Boston, how there were only a couple options, and I have this whole giant portfolio.
Do you remember what the first one was that I brewed?
The first beer you brewed?
Yeah, from Brooklyn Brew Shop.
Told me a
it
million
was one
times.
of the originals.
Was it a brown?
No. That was the first beer I ever brewed that was not a Brooklyn Brew Shop beer.
The Bear Paw Brown?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Jalapeno Saison.
Oh, okay. Nice. But I imagine the technology of the equipment has changed vastly as more people have gotten into it, and as technology itself has gotten more advanced.
I'd say over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
When I first started homebrewing 2010, 2011, I made everything, all my equipment, or I got it from somebody else. And now you can buy anything, and it's within $100 to $300 for a boil kettle that's 10 gallons, 20 gallons. Conical fermenters, $200 to $300. It's within reach.
Yeah.
So.
It's not just the technology with the equipment. It's the knowledge at our fingers on the internet. Like I said, there's podcasts, there's books. It's breakthroughs in malting. It's breakthroughs in hops. Mm-hmm. Homebrewers can make good beer. There's a couple, tips that if you follow, like yeast management is like probably number one to
adding oxygen, temperature control. Those are three
if you
simple
treat,
things.
I mean,
keeping them happy.
what's the big thing? We brewers make wort, and then the yeast makes the beer.
Yeah.
My favorite is it takes beer to make beer, so you have to drink.
Of course.
I like that,
Isn't that why we brew?
Yeah.
I learned to brew from watching Gary Glass's videos on the American Homebrew Association's website. Literally, I watched all of his videos, and that's how I learned to do it. And reading Charlie Papazian, every book he ever wrote.
Relax, have a homebrew.
Yep.
Nice. So I want to go back to your original point then, Carl. So if homebrewers are going to make the beer that they want to drink because it's not readily accessible like the ESBs or like lagers or anything, do you see it going down the road, 2-3 years down the road, that it tips in the other direction now that there's lagers and ESBs that all these homebrewers want to drink and can't find anywhere until they finally get a bug in somebody's ear at a brewery, and then we have an overabundance of ESBs and lagers and what have you?
That will never happen.
Yeah. Well, I know we said
I
it now,
wish it would
but-
happen. I wish it would happen.
But if we go a couple years down the road, if the demands of the clientele are going to change, are they going to keep up with that at the breweries, or are they going to keep trying to shove New England IPAs down our throat?
They would have to. I mean, the breweries,
Right.
like how many brewers have you guys interviewed that said, I think it was just a couple episodes ago, he said he would never brew an IPA? Well, guess what? Guess what? You got to have one.
We've had that conversation before. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never met a professional brewer that enjoys brewing New England IPAs. They brew them, but none of them like to brew them. But I am seeing more craft lagers out there. There are and it might just be because those are the craft breweries that I choose to follow and patron. But there are a lot of Pilsners coming out right now from a lot of different local, and we're lucky because we're in Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of German heritage here, and no matter what, I think we will all still appreciate a good clean lager, especially in this area. But I don't know. I'd like to think it's kind of making a comeback.
Well, and I feel like, and as much as we've spent so much time on this podcast bitching about these fucking any IPAs over and over and over again,
It's a good thing we didn't bring Dave with us.
It's a trend, and the beer industry is prone to trends, and I think now more than ever because so many people have gotten into craft beer, and it's become, it's become beer. I mean, not just craft beer; it's beer now.
So if it's prone to trends, who sets the trends?
It just happens. Who sets any trend?
I don't know.
The people that
It's
have the
the
money.
patrons.
Yeah, I mean, it's what
who's going through the door?
Patreon.com/beerbusters.
Not those kind of patrons.
Most of the brewers will tell you
I
that
tried.
the IPAs are keeping the lights on at
Yeah.
breweries. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't fault any brewers for making that because, if you want to stay in business as a business person, you got to keep up. But at some point, you're going to lose out on some of the clientele of everybody who wants what the other stuff you can offer. I don't want to have 9 IPAs when I go to a brewery. I really want diversity with what I'm drinking.
Well, and I think the problem is that something else is going to come along, and then you're going to have 9 of those everywhere you go.
Is this your Hellas? It is. I'm trying to end this conversation. It's fucking delicious.
Thank you, Steph.
So I think as Pennsylvanians, we've always had a really strong lager culture.
Yeah, we've been
we have
spoiled.
Stouts is incredible.
Oh, that's nice.
Trogs does an amazing job. I think we could be the pivotal spot for the craft lager revolution.
It's an all-day drinker.
This beer is called
Yeah.
Ma Hells, so Mid-Atlantic Hellas.
Nice.
So instead of Northeast IPA, we're going with
Mid-Atlantic Health.
Yeah.
I like it. That's cool.
So
Is it on Untapped?
It is not. It's brand new. It was kegged
Do
last
you need
week.
to add it so
Get
I
on
can
the
give it
phone.
5 stars?
Yeah.
Go.
No, let him finish his story first.
The interesting thing about craft lagers, it's super simple recipe, very difficult to get right. So it's literally Weyermann Pilsner malt, a little bit of acidulated to play with the pH balance, and that's it. Saz hops, very very few hop
Right.
additions.
Yeah.
So it's what happens in the fermentation.
Yeah,
So I
just
take
time.
it down to 54 degrees. I let it sit for about a week. Slowly start bumping it up. So within 3 weeks, it's up to 68, 70 degrees for diacetyl rest, and then bump it back down to 30, let it sit for a while. So and then it cleans up.
It's a simple beer, but not an easy beer to make.
It's
Yeah,
very
and
tricky.
it's delicious. I mean,
It's amazing.
This is like Jeremy said, an all-day drinker.
Yeah. So how many times have you brewed this beer?
This is the second time.
Oh, wow.
So-
Good for you.
The first time it actually under attenuated, it finished around 10-16, so it was a little bit sweet. So I entered in the NHC National Homebrew Competition as a cream ale, It got a 32, so a silver medal, not a silver medal, but a silver certificate, as they call it. Didn't place, but not a bad score for the first time I did it. So I was pretty happy. So I made a few adjustments, mostly with the fermentation, made it a little bit more vigorous, and I think it cleaned up. I think it's going to get a little bit better in more iterations. So that's kind of what I do is I brew the same beer over and over again until I'm
to get it
there.
right. Yeah.
Right. So what is your? I'm always curious for homebrewers. What does your lagering setup look like?
So I have Sabco fermenters. So it's a keg. It's I didn't build it. It came from like the Brew Magic setup. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
So it's I can get my hands in there. I can clean it out nice, but it's also it entirely closes. It can hold pressure. So when I'm transferring the beer into kegs, I can do it under CO2, so it never sees oxygen after I brew it. So that's really important. And then I have it in a fridge, temperature controlled, probe down the middle, gets the temperature. Heat belts around it so I can bump it up. The fridge takes it back down in temperature. So that's pretty much it.
When I lager, it's me checking the thermometer, tweak it, checking the thermometer, checking the thermometer. I'm not buying all that stuff.
You can get already made temperature controllers now for like $15.
Who needs that? So I feel like since our palates are clean, and we're halfway through the home brews, do we want to
try this?
Fun? I think this might be a good time.
Do you want to try this?
Try it again.
Have some fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't go so well the first time. But,
We're not having fun?
See, that's the thing. I always hate when you phrase it that way because it's like, are you not? Are you not entertained?
Let's have some time.
People that listen to our podcast know what that transition means.
But what if we have a first-time listener out there like, oh, these fuckers didn't have fun the first
if they made
hour.
it this far, I think they'll keep listening.
Just be gentle. It is my first time.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Oh, God damn it.
Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the podcast trivia segment that has something to fucking prove. We have returned to Unlabeled, the beer tasting board game.
Because we're idiots.
Well, we were challenged by our guests from Saints Homebrew.
We were.
I think it was Carl specifically, who challenged us to a throwdown match of Unlabeled. So if you didn't hear the last episode we played this was with Greg Orth. I don't remember the episode number off the top of my head.
It came out in February.
Yeah, so you can check that out. It was a crowd-funded board game that is all about blindly tasting beers and guessing what they are for points. And it's pretty cool. So if you want to look it up, it's unlabelthegame.com, I think, or they're on Facebook, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. So we're going to play. Last time we played this game, we did it completely blind.
Which was fucking
It
stupid.
went terribly.
Yeah, and we were very much put in our place because we barely scored any fucking points at all. So we've decided to do a little variation. This is allowed in the official Unlabeled rulebook. We've done a little variation where we actually have a list of not necessarily the specific beers that are in the sort of pool of what we'll be tasting, but we have a list of beer styles. So we at least know what the options are. So if you're not familiar, the board itself has sort of broad categories like pale ale, stout, porter, bock, pilsner, things like that. And then it has subcategories like under pale ale is saison, Trappist single, Kolsch cream ale. Under stout is Irish stout, sweet stout, Irish extra stout, etc., etc. So depending on how specific you want to get, you get more points. Since I think in this case we're all going to be either guessing sort of the broad category or the specific style, we'll say 1 point for the category, 2 for the specific style. We also have some really, really broad categories. Like we have what they call fermentation, which means you can pick an ale, a lager, wild fermented, or barrel aged. And then we also have alcohol content, which gives you options of 0 to 4%, 4.1 to 6, 6.1 to 8, and 6.1 to 9, and then 9.1 above. So if you're really stumped, you could pick one of those. We'll say that's 1 point. If you pick sort of the broad category, that's going to be 2 points. If you pick the specific style, that's 3 points. If anybody wants to get ballsy enough and say this is exactly this beer, which some of us might know.
Well, I feel like we shouldn't do that because
they brought some of them, and we kind of okay.
Yeah, it's already ruling out exact beer.
Yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to see how it goes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So, Rich, has been kind enough to provide us all with our first beer of the game. I think we can all agree that it's dark
Yep.
and
So
roasty.
this is the Hellas, right?
Yep.
I believe it's the Pilsner.
Yeah,
it's
Pilsner.
definitely the Pilsner.
Can you put me on Imperial Stout, please?
All right, Steph is choosing Imperial Stout. And Dan?
Yes, I'm
on Imperial Stout. Anyone else? We're all kind of in this area.
I don't know. I think that New England definitely fried my taste buds.
Yeah.
I almost want to lean a different way, but I think
I'm going with the Imperial Stout as well. This is Carl.
All right. Carl's going with Imperial
Did you
Stout.
say this is Carl?
Yeah,
This is Carl.
Oh,
this is Carl.
This is Carl.
This is Carl.
And I approve
Live.
this message.
Oh, man. Everybody's going Imperial Stout. I think it's the Milk Stout.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I was.
I'm actually kind of
really
with
close
you a little bit
that.
on that, but
I was leaning
there
towards-
is a slight sweetness to it.
So
Yeah.
are we using the smaller meeples?
That's to keep score.
like- oh,
That's to
okay.
keep score.
Oh, so I can't combine my style.
No.
with
You
an
only
alcohol
get one
content.
choice.
Patrons, are you collaborating?
So I'm
Patrons are playing against us.
we're gonna call the sweet stout because that's what's on the board is going to be our milk stout. So
I think that's a
Jeremy and I are going with sweet stout. Everyone else is going with Imperial Stout. Patrons need to collaborate on an
Have
answer.
you come to a decision, patrons,
How do we beat everyone?
with a baseball bat?
Put us on the sweet stout.
Also going with the sweet stout.
Oh.
Also going with the
Moment
sweet
of
No,
truth.
stout.
I get
All
a
right.
little heat in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me it feels boozy as
Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are we drinking, Rich?
Boozy af.
Yes! It's the Imperial Stout!
It's the big S. All right, so the patrons, myself and Jeremy, were wrong. Everyone else was
Fun
right.
fact, that beer was on Libation or Fabrication.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was. This is oh my god, this is the big ass money stout
Uh-huh.
from
Thank
Evil
you,
Twin Brewing
James.
Company. This was made with pizza and actual currency.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Also, if anyone's keeping score, this is 17.2%.
Wow.
Yep.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's
All
a way
right.
to start the game.
All right, so we're calling that 3 points. So the patrons need a score, John.
Scory John?
Yeah, we'll get a scory
another
John.
We'll get
I got another
another,
cap.
cap.
Bottle cap or something. Actually, give me the bend it so we
And for
can
those keeping score, this is Big Ass Money Stout 3.
big ass money stout 3.
I thought there was a lot of warmth.
All right, so
in
the
my mouth.
patrons get 3.
I have a pleasant
Hold
warmth
on.
in my mouth.
Oh, everybody took colors and now I don't know what goes where.
So I got my red one gets a thing.
So Dan is red, he gets 3.
The blue.
Steph is pink. She gets, I guess, 3 then
Steph
as well.
is pink. Who isn't? What color was I? I'm green.
And I'm not.
Carl's
Orange.
blue.
Carl's blue, so Carl's 3. Carl's blue himself.
Hey,
Aw.
Brad is yellow. You were orange, so
I
we
just blew
don't get
myself for the
points.
We
first
were
time in years.
all yellow.
All right, so Jeremy and I are sitting alone at 0 points. Moving on to round 2 of Unlabeled. Round 2 fight. So this is obviously much lighter. Just to remind our listeners at home, these options could be Belgian Triple, IPA, Pilsner, Helles, Kolsch, Keller beer, and that's probably it because the rest of them are dark. So, everybody, nice.
Am I allowed to phone a friend?
No. Decidedly not. I'm going to go ahead and say this is not an IPA and it's not a Belgian Triple.
I think that's a safe bet.
Pilsner, Helles, Kolsch. Oh my god. Who decided to put those four?
on the board. It's on the board.
I brought them. Well, I brought the Pilsner, the Helles, and the Kolsch.
All right, I have a guess.
I have already put my guess on the board.
All right,
I went with Keller beer.
I'm going to go with Helles. Where is Helles?
The Helles is
There it is. I see it.
Helles export beer.
Yeah. Or
are you changing it? Oh, mute it. Oh,
I can go to Pale Lager, which encompasses pretty much all of those,
that-
and guarantee myself 2 points.
it's kind of a dick move.
No, I'm going to go with Helles.
All right.
I'm going to stick to my guns.
Actually, I'm going to put it on the right one. Munich Helles.
All right, Dan is... what did you pick, Dan?
I went with Keller beer.
Keller beer. Okay. So I have picked Helles. Dan has picked Keller beer.
I don't know. The nose and the
Rest-
taste are saying two different things to me. Fuck.
Which one's saying
So
that?
we have 2 categories for Pilsners, too.
We do, but we only have one Pilsner on the list, so... Oh, shit. It's all over now. I do have a suggestion for the people who produced Unlabeled. Consider an app. So we could all just play this on our phones.
That's true. Because then you don't know what other people are picking.
That's true, yeah. Actually, you know what? Don't. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to go
All right,
Helles.
so we've got some more...
That's what my gut said.
We've got some more guesses. So Steph has picked Helles. I picked Helles. Brad picked Helles.
So
Dan.
let the record show I sucked last time.
I know. Dan picked Keller beer, and then we have Jeremy and Carl on Pilsner. All right, patrons. Do we have a decision from the patrons?
Is there a patron guess? There's huddles. They are huddling.
They're going Kolsch. They're going Kolsch. Oh, wow. Totally
Where
bucking
is
the
Kolsch,
trend.
Kolsch.
It's got to be in that corner, right?
I have to say, I
it's way
highly
over there.
recommend that people that play this game have a rich, because I think it's cool that we can all play every round.
Yeah, instead of one person
Last
being the
time
server.
you couldn't play the round of the beer that
Yeah.
you knew.
We will rent our rich to you if you like.
He's going to cost you, kids.
At competitive prices. Okay, so we've all put in our guesses.
Here we go.
What are we
Moment
drinking,
of truth.
Rich?
The reveal.
The reveal is it's a Pilsner.
Congratulations.
It's Von Trapp Brewing.
Oh, wait.
Pilsner.
Your strategy wouldn't have worked anyway, going with the style.
No, I guess not. But I kind of
they
feel
have
like
pale lager versus pilsner as a different style.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels a little shitty. But
All
either
right.
way, I was wrong.
Bitterness.
Yeah, you're right. The hoppy bitterness. Yeah.
So what is that, Carl and Jeremy? Is that you guys? All
And
right.
so Carl and Jeremy are correct. Everyone else is
That gets
wrong.
3 points for them, right?
Yep.
All right.
So this is a smooth, crisp Bohemian Pilsner with a harmonious blend of Pearl and Saaz hops. In case anyone was wondering.
I must not have been in the club long enough.
Yeah.
Are they
Well, you're a
at
Cicerone.
_unlabeled_?
Oh, I got to
Is that what they are?
No, I think it's Unlabeled Game or Unlabeled the Game. And we move on to round 3. Another pale lagery beer has appeared in front of us.
You don't know that.
I don't know anything.
I think this is the milk stout.
I think it is too. Yeah.
What would you do if I just put my piece down on milk stout right
You would just not get any points forever, dude. I mean, you do what you want. It's a game, man. So, yeah. Whoever wants to venture a guess first. Steph is very
I
frustrated.
fucked myself.
Steph is very frustrated.
Like, this will be funny.
See, my philosophy is if I keep guessing Keller beer, it's going to be right one of these times.
This is true. All right, so Dan has put his piece down on Keller beer. Anyone else?
I'm going to go Helles.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
That's
I think
what
that this is, in fact, the Helles. Dan,
Hell
would you
yes.
please put me on
Oh,
Helles?
my God.
So myself, Brad,
Please
Steph,
enjoy.
and Jeremy are all picking Helles. Carl is the last to choose.
Carl.
And he is getting in line. So everyone
Carl's on
Except
Pilsner again.
for me.
except Dan has chosen Helles. Dan has picked Keller beer again.
Patrons.
Do we have a choice from the patrons?
Oh, the patrons are also saying Hellas.
Now,
Woo!
how good would you feel if you're right and everybody else is wrong?
Like a god.
Or just really lucky?
Rich?
All right.
I went with Keller beer.
Time for the big reveal.
Here
Is
we
it a
go.
Helles?
Here we
Is
go.
everyone right? It is! It is.
Finally, we don't suck. I wish I would have been filming that.
All right.
Another Von Trapp beer. This time they're Helles Lager. Everyone but Dan was right. Everyone but Dan gets 3 points.
Everybody boo this man.
It is an easy drinking, yet surprisingly complex golden lager. There's a little bit left in the bottle.
Are you keeping track of the scores? By
I'm
the
the
way?
host.
I got it over here.
I'm going to drink the rest of it. Yeah, so a little recap of the score. We have yellow and blue, which is Brad and Carl, with 9 points. We have pink and bottle cap, which is Steph and the patrons, at 6 points. And we have myself, Dan, and Jeremy at 3
I started off strong.
points.
There should be like a bitch category in this where you just say beer. Like you put your piece on beer,
And you
so
automatically
you
get no
automatically get
points.
like a half a point.
No, it's like a forfeit.
You got alcohol content right there.
True.
That's true. That is the bitch category.
No, that's why it's just beer is half a point. You're like, I don't know, but I'm going to say beer, so it's half.
You're like, no, actually, that's
Turns out it's
sake.
no duels.
I'd still call that beer.
I'd like to note that I was the first one to put it on Helles, and all you guys followed me.
I was going to put
I
it on
didn't.
Helles before anyone picked anything.
Brad, you're a leader.
Yeah, natural born.
Natural born leader.
All right, did everybody have the next one?
Yep.
Round 4.
Round 4.
Round
here we
4
are.
coming up. So we have a slightly darker amberish colored beer in front of us right now. To remind you of our options, we have remaining Belgian Triple, IPA, Kolsch, Keller Beer, English Mild, Milk Stout, or Dunkel. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not a Dunkel, and it's not a Milk Stout.
Well, I'm
Are you
lost.
sure?
Actually, it might be a Dunkel.
Kolsch.
Going with the Kolsch from Brad.
Trying to be the first to fire. Make you guys all think.
I don't know if that's that good of a strategy.
No, it's not.
I'm going to call the dark mild on the board just a mild. English
Fair
mild.
enough.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. Carl putting his money on mild.
You just blew my mind.
He
I
also
just
blew,
blew
the board.
myself.
Rich, I'll give you $1 for inside info.
Nope, that's not allowed.
I'll give you a slice of pizza for the rest of the answers.
I'm doing the Keller beer. I gotta just go with my gut.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
We are all over the place here.
Yeah, no, we are.
Wow.
Fuck
Yeah,
it.
go mild. Too.
Actually, you know what? I am going to say English mild as well. So Jeremy and I are joining Carl on English mild. Steph has chosen Keller beer. Brad leading the pack with Kolsch. Dan has yet to choose.
Still deciding. You know what?
Milk Stout.
I'm going for it. I'm going for Dunkel.
Going for Dunkel.
Oh,
All right,
shoot.
Dan goes for Dunkel.
I don't
Patrons.
think that's as crazy as
It's
people
not as
think
crazy.
it is. I'm telling
I
you.
can see that.
I was like,
It's-
it's totally not a Dunkel, and then I smelled it. I was like, well,
It's got a nice maltiness
Yeah,
to it,
no.
and it
Yeah.
reminds me of some of my favorite
Yeah.
Dunkels.
I don't know. I could be. I'm
right, it reminds me of some of my favorite dance as well.
Just
patrons.
Patrons, do we have a decision?
no.
Hey, Jen is cheating.
You are the weakest link.
Bullshit.
All right, who's the alpha of the group?
Probably Ron.
I was going to say Tom.
Well, yeah.
That's not the that was stupid.
Also
Oh.
going for the mild. So the patrons have also chosen mild. That is the
I
most.
think these are all great options.
So the interesting thing before we reveal,
Of course.
It's a tricky beer because it has like the roastiness.
It's a lot
of
going
Dunkel,
on.
but it's really light bodied.
mm-hmm.
But the mild
and it's not super dark.
Right.
is in a nitro can.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Oh, shoot.
Thanks for telling us now.
Oh, I thought everybody knew that.
No, nobody knew that.
I don't know. Rich is holding
And
the
that
bag with the
sweetness,
can in
that
it very
It's
lightly.
super sweet at the
fuck,
end.
is it a can?
He's holding. It's
All right, what is it?
Hold on.
Wait.
We need to recap the choices
All right.
before we
No,
reveal.
just show the can.
So the most popular,
The fucking mark.
the most popular choice was the fucking mild, which it
Oh
is.
my gosh.
Which it is. Everybody else was kind of all over the place. This is Old Speckled Hen English Fine
I didn't
Ale.
get the nitro.
Smooth and distinctive.
all right. So green advances.
This is like legit imported from
Orange
English.
advances.
England. English mild.
patrons advance,
And it's really nice.
And then, of course, there we go. Well, this looks interesting.
So-
As I expected, I am in last place.
Yellow didn't advance.
Yeah.
Oh, Yellow didn't. I'm
Yellow
sorry.
didn't advance.
I just assumed it was everybody but me.
Just because he doesn't have a beard doesn't mean he gets special privileges.
Actually, after this game, I think you
Wait,
guys are
how
going to kick
am
me out of
I?
the club.
How am I still tied with Steph when I was right and she was wrong?
Because I was ahead of you.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We both,
Yes.
we both bombed the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I just didn't want to be behind.
Fuck.
All right.
Well, that was painful. That's not hard.
Okay, we're moving into. Are we going to call this our final round for right now?
2 more.
Oh, he has got
two
two
more
more
he's got it,
poured. Oh fuck.
So we'll do those now and do the other ones last call.
Well, if we do 2 more, there's only going to be like 2 or 3 left.
There'll be 3 left. That's
All right.
Yeah, that's
But
all
they'll
right.
be complete. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. All right, so
fine. I have plenty more beer. if
that's true. We
need
could
to-
grab more beer. So we're moving into our third to last round of the game. Everybody's going to guess IPA on this one because it's what it is.
Hey, everybody gets 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, really, everybody agree?
IPA.
Yeah, except
Yeah.
it's a Keller beer.
You think?
No.
Okay.
It's definitely an IPA.
Everybody agreeing it's an IPA. Rich,
We
what
need
are we
the
drinking?
reveal. We need the reveal.
Everybody gets 3 points, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, Lagunitas IPA.
Hey, I got points.
Everybody got points, which means nothing really changes.
Shush. Let me live in this. So we are left with Belgian Triple, Dunkel, Kolsch, Keller Beer, or Milk Stout.
Dunkel.
Dunkel. Yeah. Martin.
American.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I think everybody's agreeing this is a
Yeah,
Dunkel.
I think I'm going with Dunkel. Do I get more points?
Everybody saying Dunkel?
I don't know. We got one on Kolsch.
I don't know. Brad's still on Kolsch. Is that your
yeah.
final answer?
No. I didn't. That was on from before, but
The battle over the Kolsch and Keller beer is going to be very good, though.
Yeah, it is. So everybody's saying it's a Dunkel? Patrons?
Patrons?
Patrons agree?
Patrons are on the Dunkel train.
Everybody's on the Dunkel train. Come on, ride the train. Choo-choo, ride it. What are we drinking?
Rich with the reveal.
Yay! Eyinger Altbirch Dunkel.
You didn't get enough phlegm in that.
No, not quite. Brewed according to the Reinheitsgebot, Purity Law 1516.
1516.
Yeah, I beat you to it. Product of Germany, etc., etc. Brewed and bottled by Produit and at Embouchure Brewing. I'm not even going to try. But it's a Dunkel, so everybody's right.
Yay!
So we are on. This is going to be our final beer for this. If you guys are enjoying this, which I think really is all depending on how well Dan edits it.
So obviously, yes.
So you obviously are enjoying it. We are going to continue playing this. I think we decided in the last call we might break out some more beers or something. So become a patron on Patreon if you're not already, and you get to hear us play more Unlabeled, the board game. So we're moving on to our final beer for this round, and our choices remaining. Our remaining choices are Belgian Triple, Kolsch, Keller Beer, or Milk Stout. I think it's a Milk Stout.
Can I guess it without tasting for extra points?
Oh, ooh.
No, you fucking show off. Interesting. It's not the triple, guys.
Fuck.
This was the
That was
tough
gonna
one.
be her guess.
This was the tough one. It's a Kolsch or a Keller beer. This is not easy.
I was going to guess the triple until I tasted it.
Wow.
I should have said yes. Dan, what are you picking?
Go with Keller Beer.
Going with Keller beer. I agree.
What?
I'm going to agree with Dan
You're
and go with Keller
probably
beer.
wrong. Sorry.
Dan and I have picked Keller beer.
Go with Keller Beer.
Carl also going with Keller
I have
beer.
a little more faith in myself right now.
Feeling better about my decision now. Oh, Jeremy also agreeing. We're all lining up
Gotta go with the
on
crowd.
lining up on the Keller beer train.
I am not a follower, but I'm going to pick Keller Beer.
All right. He thought it was Keller beer before it was cool.
No, he thought it was triple.
I did think it was triple before it was cool.
Steph and the Patrons.
That's a great
New
band.
Death metal.
Debut album. Oh,
I'd
fuck.
be in the Misfits, not Gem and the Holograms. Let's be
Gem.
honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fuck, I'm going to say the Kolsch just because you all said fucking Keller Beer.
All right, I like the balls.
shit.
I like the balls on this one.
Where is Kolsch?
Kolsch is over
there.
here.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Patrons.
Do we have a guess?
patron guess? Keller Beer.
All right, everybody but Steph is saying Keller beer.
Steph versus the world.
Rich, what are we drinking?
Keller
It
beer.
is a Keller beer.
I had to be right eventually. Oh, yeah.
Monskopf. Unfiltered
Oh, wow.
German lager.
Okay.
This one
We don't have enough points.
It's
for
the Big
Carl.
Ugly.
The Big Ugly. Brewed according to the Bavarian
move already?
Purity Law of 1516. Much like the last beer.
Why did we let me do this? Who did
No,
I
I
move
think you're
already?
right. I think you're right.
All right.
All right, so the final score. Way out in the lead. He blew himself all the way to 20.
He's tried that.
Carl, 20 fucking points.
Technically 21.
Yes.
Oh, was it 21?
So happy right
Oh, he's at 21. Because that's a multiple of 3. That makes sense. Winning with 21. Tied in second place are the Beardless Wonder, Brad, and the Patrons, who are not paying any attention. Everybody's arguing on the other side of the room about something that probably doesn't matter. Hey, Patrons. Patrons tied for second place. Tied with Brad for second place. In third place is me.
Hooray.
And orange was Jeremy?
Yes.
Yeah, so me and Jeremy are tied at 15. Steph and Dan sitting at 12. Very good showings. I got to tell you, this is like orders of magnitude better than the last time we played this game. So we all did very well.
Yay.
Once
go
again,
us.
thanks for listening to this crazy edition of Happy Fun Time Games. This is Unlabeled, the board game. You can find it on the internet. They did a Kickstarter. They raised a lot of money. They made a cool game. So you should check it out and drink beer with your friends.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I think you should call it Super Happy Fun Time.
Super Happy Fun Time. All right, fair enough. You are listening to the new and improved Super Happy Fun Time Games. This is the part of the podcast where we shout out to our most generous patrons on Patreon who keep the lights on, as they are, here in the Beer Busters podcast basement. We would like to thank from the bottom of our hearts James Lamberg,
He wants to get super drunk so he can tackle the dump.
Eric Dixon.
Fruity Pebbles.
Joe Man, the one and only Joe Mansell.
I am Cornholio.
Happy recent birthday. Nate Falkman.
Oh, whoops.
Sloan Peterson. Brian Mills.
Oh, yeah.
Oak Brook Brewing Company.
This is fire.
Wolfgang Von Kalt.
Hold the door.
Jen McDonald.
I'm so fancy. You didn't even know?
Marilyn Engelman.
Fucking A right.
Josh Price.
Filled with yummy goodness.
Ron McDonald. And, of course, if only you guys could hear what we can hear, Victoria Miles.
Drugs.
If you want to find out how you can get on this list, how you can be in the room tonight when we have in-studio
How you can be
recordings.
in the room tonight.
I can feel it.
Because we'll give you a time machine. Get behind-the-scenes perks, get access to Last Call, go to patreon.com/beerbusters. Dan, even though we've been drinking bottles at home, I feel like we should settle up our tab.
Somewhere we still owe someone money.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
Hey there, Beer Busters friends out there in the podcastiverse. If you are a beer nerd, you might be a nerd for other things as well. In that case, you might be interested in trying Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly mystery crate service that delivers the best in geek and gaming gear, pop culture items. I'm talking t-shirts, I'm talking keychains, I'm talking vinyl figures, and all kinds of cool collectible stuff. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique, one-of-a-kind items, and more. You can sign up at trylootcrate.com/beerbusters and use the promo code BRIDGE10 to save 10% on any new subscription. That's right, save 10% on a new subscription to Loot Crate by visiting trylootcrate.com/beerbusters. Use the promo code BRIDGE10 and get your nerd on.
This episode of Beer Busters is brought to you in part by Vinyl Me Please. Vinyl Me Please is a Record of the Month club. It is the best damn record club, in fact. Every month, VMP features one album that is essential to the modern vinyl collection and sends it to thousands of members worldwide. Artists include Betty Davis, Kevin Morby, Fiona Apple, Beck, Gorillaz, and I myself am the proud owner of a special marble copy of Weezer's Pinkerton, thanks to Vinyl Me Please.
Which is a good album.
Which is a great album. Each record is pressed exclusively for VMP members with features you can't get anywhere else. Things like bonus tracks, inserts, colored variants, and comes packed with a 12x12 album-inspired art print and a custom cocktail pairing recipe. And they know that trusting someone else to curate your record collection can be pretty scary. And of course, you've had your whole life to fine-tune your taste, and they certainly don't want to get in the way. That's why they feature swaps, where you can exchange a featured record with one from the VMP archives or a limited set of store titles. That way, even though you're trying new things, you won't be forced to take a title you already have or know in advance that isn't right for you. There's no contracts, no strings, no guilt trips, no fees, and you get top-shelf customer service to make sure you get the answers and help you need as soon as humanly possible. So if you want to sign up for VMP, which you will not regret, head over to joinvmp.com/beerbusters to sign up today. That is joinvmp.com/beerbusters.
No. Your beers. No. Know your beers?
Hey, Steph, what do you got?
I'm wishing I would have picked something shorter.
Don't have to do it.
All right, so since we have homebrewers at the table, I thought we'd talk about something fun with homebrewing. And recently on our favorite homebrewing magazine, BYO magazine, Dennis Makupa, or however you say his name, did a fantastic article on a guide to brewing beers with honey. So let's talk about it. Who at the table has brewed a beer with honey?
I have.
Oh, no, you haven't.
I know.
Pretty many of us. So honey, of course, as we know, is a great beer ingredient. It can be used to boost potency, lighten body, manipulate perceived sweetness, round off the harsh edges of hop bitterness or sour ale acidity, influence yeast ester production, and contribute its own distinctive character to beer. So honey comes in a wide range of varietals, and they are often differentiated by color, aroma, flavor, and/or viscosity. Raw or unpasteurized honey also typically plays host to a bevy of wild yeast and bacteria. The dormancy is mainly due to the high sugar, low water content, and relatively acidic pH of honey. Yeast and bacteria don't grow in pure honey, but of course this changes once the honey is diluted with water. An environment conducive to yeast and bacteria colonization is created by diluting the sugars and increasing the pH. This means if added on the cold side of the brewing process, raw honey has the potential to infect your beer. That's why brewers will either add raw honey on the hot side of the process, or they will pre-pasteurize the raw honey before adding it. Honey contains many of the amino acids and enzymes found in malt. They allow the honey to be fermented by beer yeast and also give honey its antibacterial properties. Honey contains almost no maltose, but way more glucose and fructose than malted barley, which means honey is more fermentable than malt. Wort extract from specialty malts after mashing often ranges between 25 to 60% fermentable and 70 to 80% fermentable from base malts, while most honeys range from 90 to 95% fermentable. I'm going to suggest we start recording this before I start drinking and then just
fermentable.
Honey varietals come in a broad spectrum of colors ranging from water white.
What is Walter White?
Walter White?
Walter White.
Right?
So Paul, you don't
right?
get sued.
Right?
So it's blue, right?
Wooter white. To dark amber. Light-colored honey varietals often come with slightly less polyphenols than your average brew malt, while darker varietals often contain up to twice as much. Polyphenols are flavor active, have antioxidant properties, and can affect the haze stability of beer. Nitrogen content can impact yeast metabolism, beer turbidity, and foam stability, while honey has less nitrogen than malt. A standard honey beer, calling for only 10 to 20% honey addition, rarely suffers from enough of nitrogen deficiency to exhibit negative effects. So when to add your honey depends on what you're looking to achieve by adding honey to your brew. Hot side, cold side. Well, hot side additions will make the least impact on both the body and ester levels in your beer while still contributing a small amount of honey flavor to your beer. On the cold side, you're going to add more flavor, of course, and aromas, and you can further alter flavors and aromas by increasing yeast ester production. And you can, of course, alter the body, alter the perceived sweetness of your beer. And enzymes from unpasteurized honey can also lead to more fermentables from malt carbohydrates, which can cause issues with bottling if sufficient time has not elapsed between honey addition and bottling. We don't want bombs, kids.
Honey bombs.
Honey bombs. So how much? Well, ask yourself how mild or aggressive a flavor profile you want. Consider the honey varietal selection and, of course, consider your beer style. If you wish to brew a balanced honey beer, that shows characteristics of both your base beer and your honey, you will need to make the base style and honey varietal selections that are similar in intensity. Of course, if you want something to unbalanced selections, consider using the size of the honey addition as the third variable to temper your blend. View your honey addition as a percentage of overall fermentable sugar. 0 to 10% is considered a small addition. 11 to 15 is considered a medium addition. 16 to 20% of your fermentables is considered a large addition. 21 to 30% is considered uncommonly large.
Sorry.
And 31 plus, you're getting into braggot territory. When sourcing honey, think locally. Search for a beekeeper who sells directly to retail consumers or farmers market. You can also source honey from a homebrew shop, but it is expensive. For local friends, and I think even beyond, Dutch Gold Honey in Lancaster County, they create a wonderful product, and you can get 60-pound pails of honey for less than $3 a pound. For more information on honey beers and recipes, including a summer ale, a Kolsch, and a braggot, check out Brew Your Own Magazine. And for your free copy of BYO Magazine, click on the red banner on beerbusterspodcast.com.
Do it.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
That was a lot of fucking words.
It was.
It was a lot of words.
You handled it well.
You said fermentable a lot, and you only missaid it like once or twice. So, kudos.
There was a time when I used to re-say shit, and now I'm like, fuck it.
Nah, just keep going. Just plow through it.
It's just, yeah, you like that because then you don't got to edit shit.
Pretty much.
So you guys have more beer?
There's a beer.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually already passed around.
Absolutely.
So what's in your glass right now is a Ben Sieber, one of our club members who is not here tonight, his Kolsch.
Oh, a Kolsch. Nice.
Yep.
Is Ben's Kolsch on Untapped?
Probably not.
Damn it, Ben.
Next meeting, we have a topic.
Putting
Untapped.
stuff on
How
Untapped.
to add your homebrews to Untapped.
So again, very similar grain bill to the craft lager that I brought. It's just, I think it's Weyermann Pilsner used, definitely Pilsner malt, a little acidulated, and I think you use sauce as well.
Super light. Very, very light. What? I'm getting something in the aroma and I can't put my finger on it.
Okay, so what actually is this?
Is that the new one?
Yes, this is the one you just opened.
Yes.
Which is?
Oh, I guess we don't have to guess. That is my
No,
pants.
we're past that segment.
Yeah. That's my pants party.
Pants party.
Ooh,
Okay.
give me some pants party.
Everybody wants a pants
Another
party.
country heard from.
Yep.
Everyone wants some pants party.
And what is pants party?
I call it what did I call it? A moderate West Coast because it's pretty malty for a West Coast.
It is.
Says mostly.
Mostly West Coast.
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly West Coast. It is, yeah, I mean, it is malty. It's a little darker. It doesn't necessarily have that crisp, piney.
I mean, I like the bite.
Uh-huh.
You know, it definitely still has a bite and a malt backbone. So, you know, it's definitely not New England.
Oh, it's definitely not, no.
So I was actually happy the way it turned out.
It's got that dank character too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitively West Coast.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Ooh, I really like this.
It's very deep.
Yes,
like the flavor is
deep and wide.
Just like deep. Like I don't know. It probably doesn't make any sense, but
like the deepest canyons.
Yeah.
Back to naming beers.
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard. I was thinking
That's the name of a beer right there. It's so hard.
You just got to know where to look, man.
Done and done.
There you go. Hey, you want some names for beers? Go to Stickman and get the list that we left them 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Names
I
that they've
listened to that.
never used.
They're epic names.
There are random name generators too out there.
There are, yeah.
Well, the runners up to this one was Did You Touch My Drum Set? And what was the other one?
Should I put my balls
on the drums?
Random car sickness.
I love Lamp. I don't know.
Well,
That's already an evil genius.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Damn. See, there you go.
Taken.
ooh, I like the way this beer pours and smells. Can we go for the trifecta? How does it taste?
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh my god.
It's super cold. I feel like this is the kind of beer I should not be drinking this cold, so I'm holding it in my hand.
Yeah.
It is delicious. What is this?
This is my Belgian chocolate buzz.
Oh my god. Well,
and yes, it is on Untapped.
Thank you. Ooh, it's definitely chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
There's a lot going on there. I get like caramel and like hazelnut, but I feel like that's just a combination of everything else that's in there.
So the base is an oatmeal stout, which is just your standard basic oatmeal stout. Then there is a local coffee roaster in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, called One Good Woman. And they do a bunch of different flavored coffees. And this was actually their Belgian chocolate coffee. So I steeped the actual coffee beans in the keg for like 4 or 5 hours. So it's definitely caffeinated, which helps you out right now.
Yeah. That's probably a good
Did
thing.
you soak the beans in something first?
Vodka.
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 Vodka. See how he knew the name of the roaster?
I know. Again, maybe next meeting.
His was
write all these down.
Folgers.
Soldiers in your cup.
Yeah.
It started with, this is
Go to the last drop.
4th time I brewed this beer, I believe, and my wife was going to the roaster for an event that they were having, and she brought back some coffee beans and said, make me a beer with this. So that's what came about.
I like this. The flavor is very bold. You know, like it's and it's a good thing. Like it's not subtle. It's there. It's chocolate.
Yeah.
It's coffee. It's boom. And it's really nice.
Thank you.
What's the ABV on this? Did you mention?
6.5, I believe.
Oh, not bad. Not bad. It drinks like it might be a little bit higher. Like it would be one of those where you're like, oh, it's actually like 10.2, but it doesn't taste like it.
So do you crack the beans before you put them in
Yes.
there, or
Yeah, the beans are cracked just very lightly. Just a little bump on the coffee grinder.
And what do you call this?
Belgian chocolate buzz.
You should call it Jeremy Cracks Beans.
And he doesn't
And I
care.
But bump. Ba-dum-bum. So if my notes are correct, I believe we have one more. And it seems to be a pretty big one.
Oh, boy. It's a big one.
Did anyone...
We already had a 17% beer, so
well, we only had a little
all
bit of
the
it.
bottles
Do
on the table?
your patrons want any?
Yeah, definitely. They should have some of that.
No, just leave it all for me.
Yes, we need to taste that.
That is seriously, it's a very me beer. I love that beer so much.
It's really nice.
You know what would make it more you?
Bacon.
If it was
Yeah.
barrel aged with bacon.
With bacon.
Barrel-aged
So
with
bacon in it.
Bacon barrel aged.
Barrel aged with pocket
Barrel-aged
bacon.
Barrel aged with bacon.
I'm actually going to let this warm
Just
up
when
a
you
little bit.
when you slice the bacon, put it in the barrel and let that age, and then take it out and then put the beer in it and let that age.
So we've moved on to another beer. It's dark. It's funky.
It's a little funky.
Ooh,
though.
it's got a really nice aroma.
So what we just finished passing around is a Russian Imperial Stout that was put through a Jack Daniel's barrel, fresh from Jack Daniel's.
Oh, okay.
Compliments of Chris Harvey, homebrewer in our local area.
Extraordinary.
I
Yeah,
believe the
we
story
met
is
him.
his wife, her boss, got the Jack Daniel's barrel filled with bourbon. So he got all the bottles of bourbon, and then he brought the barrel back to us. We filled it. I think it was 8 of us filled it with similar Russian Imperial Stout recipes. Took 8 of us doing 10, 15-gallon batches. Filled it as much as we could. Let it go for a year, 8 months. Jeremy?
I think it was around 6 months in this.
So this beer's it's called Herding Kittens. So
herding.
I love Chris Harvey.
Herding. Yeah, not herding.
Not hurting. Herding.
Herding. Yeah. So it was pretty easy to fill the barrel. It gets a little more difficult, based on everybody's schedules to fill the barrel, make sure it's tasting the way we want it to. It's judgment calls, that kind of thing with 8 different homebrewers.
Yeah.
We get into kegging it because we didn't want to just bottle it and then try to, naturally carbonate it. We wanted to put in, so we had 9 5-gallon kegs. So we had to arrange all that, had to have it on a certain night or 2 nights. We had to find close to 100 bottles to fill. Luckily, I was still at Boneshire, and Alan kind of hooked us up with the deal.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Was it 100 or?
I think it was over 100.
Yeah, it costed $120, I think. That we.
Okay.
So it's a project in itself, arranging all this stuff and making it happen. So, but we finally got into a bottle, and now it's in a glass. It's tasting great. So,
how long did this? How long ago did this come out of the barrel?
That would have
It's
been
last summer.
The end of last
So
summer.
it's been a little.
Oh,
while.
wow.
Quite a while.
Because it's still fairly hot.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's really has that, and I think it's that fresh. And Jack Daniel's is a very forward bourbon. It's
Right.
very much you're drinking alcohol.
I mean, with all the hard work that goes into a project like this, with a bunch of homebrewers, it pays off really nicely. I think all of us walked with at least 12 bottles, if not more.
And most of us got 2 cases.
Yeah, it's sitting around the house. It's just going to age.
Yeah, yeah. I it tastes like it would age interestingly. Like it would get really complex and it would change a lot over
Yeah,
time.
so there's multiple collaborations. I brewed with Jeremy. I think it was a mix of our equipment to make it happen. It's really high gravity. And then a couple of the other homebrewers did as well. Then we just all came together, filled the barrel, and went from there. So great project, though. Just collaboration with everybody. It's time. It takes a lot of planning and definitely communication. That's the most
for
important
sure.
part. So
yeah.
This is delicious. This is, so good.
So you were herding kittens, basically,
Herding
trying
kittens.
to get everybody on the same page?
Kittens go all over the place. Get your lasso out and get it.
Get your lasso out and get it.
Get your lasso out and get it.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you try to milk the cats too?
We don't want to talk about that, Jeremy.
So if people want to learn more about Saints Homebrew Club, do you guys have a Facebook page, a website?
We're secretive.
You're secretive. You have to know.
Now
the
they,
secret,
I mean,
The
I think
secret
most
is-
of
or
the guys.
the code word, or
Yeah,
whatever.
what is the code word? Flamde Hunde Franken
Flargen Flufenafenegen.
Yeah,
Florva Fluke Vanakenegen.
Flirkin' Jerkin' Durkin.
Scotty doesn't know.
What day it is?
Don't tell Scotty.
If you come by the hot dog stand and you know the secret handshake,
You should have just
You're
stopped
in.
with it. It's come by the hot dog stand.
We actually have an inbox on the American Homebrewing Association club's page that you can send a message to us. We're sort of like a local homebrew club. You have the All Grain Gangsters, which are Dillsburg area, I think. The Sons of Alchemy is more Midtown area, but they kind of stretch out. So there's a couple small ones around the area that are all kind of in the competition scene. So
I know this is a loaded question considering Harrisburg is involved, but are there gang wars between your clubs?
Maybe. I would say the only thing I'll say is there was a gift given between two homebrew clubs about a year and a half ago that sparked a little bit of fire.
Did two clubs happen to cut off a horse's head and put it in somebody's bed at the same time,
No,
unbeknownst to the others?
They met in the back alley and they were snapping their fingers. I believe it all ended well.
There's a lot of friendships that go in between the clubs, but there's also a rivalry in between.
Well,
yeah,
it's competition.
Competitions
competition.
bring out
and it is fucking hardcore.
Yeah,
the homebrew scene right now is incredible. I mean, it's amazing how many people there are out there.
That's cool. That's great.
And us as homebrewers have advantages to, breweries because we're on a smaller scale. We can use more exotic. Not me, because I'm
you
standard.
don't do that.
But exotic ingredients,
standard Brad.
We call you vanilla.
Can I just point out that the best lines have come out of his mouth?
Sometimes I don't have a filter. There's a little guy in here that tells me what should go in and out.
There's a little guy in here.
Let me guess, he's drunk at this point.
Yeah,
Wait. I have an important question. Does that guy have a beard?
Only in my mind.
He's dressed in a wiener suit.
Oh my god.
So I do want to throw a shout out to David Sherfy. He's new to our area. He's actually an original Maltose Falcon from LA. And he moved to our area, and he's been participating with both the Saints and Rehab pretty frequently. He's actually a BJCP judge. He's pretty much my mentor when I was starting to think about it, and I took the test and everything. He took me aside, I think, 2 different nights, and he told me what I should be doing. He would take my score sheets when I'm practicing. So, I mean, he's helped out this area just in the 2 or 3 years he's been here. Significantly helped us out. So
cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
So if you want to learn more about Saints Homebrew, I don't remember what his answer was. You can hit rewind.
Yeah, right.
Hit that circle backwards 15 seconds.
So meetings are once a month, as I'm assuming most homebrew clubs.
You have to be initiated, though.
Right.
They're always in a different location, and you have to be at one meeting to know where the next one's going to be.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
at what time, and you need the password.
Exactly. But if you check out any of the Harrisburg homebrew scene, I guarantee you probably
if you're drinking homebrew in Central
PA,
you'll be around these guys or their friends.
If not a stone's throw away from that.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Boneshire is an awesome spot.
Yes, they are.
If you haven't been there yet, very cool people.
Jen agrees.
We love Alan. So
yeah.
Go check them
to
out.
a point.
For a while.
Oh.
Alan can't grow a good beard either.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Better than Brad, though.
Yeah,
it's
true.
We always called Alan Patchy McGee.
Patchy McGee.
Oh, snap.
Wow.
I think that was brought up when you guys were there.
I think so. Yeah.
There was there were weapons on the table. That was a fun night.
That was.
Definitely was. We need to get back out there. But if you find yourself in central Pennsylvania and you want to be a home brewer, definitely check these guys out because clearly they're kicking out some phenomenal stuff. Everything that we had tonight was great, guys. Thank you for bringing it all with and humoring
Especially
us.
the Hellas.
Yeah. I don't know. Jack Daniels one. Herding kittens. Herd, not hurt. Herding kittens.
Hurdy.
Yes. This is such a me beer. It's so good. I love all of it. But seriously, thank you guys for coming out and sharing these with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. And don't forget, if you want to find us on the internet, you can. Twitter and Instagram at BeerBusters. Facebook, we are BeerBusters Podcast. And of course, our website, BeerBustersPodcast.com. Yep. And that phone number, 805-991-BEER. 805-991-2337.
Oh, bonus points for you.
I listened to them.
Yeah, we'll play them on the podcast. We'll do that because we said we were going to do it like 3
We've been
times.
caught red-handed.
I've been caught handed. I don't know about red.
He's been caught
What's
with
the
his.
scariest message we could leave if we call the voicemail?
Oh, we've had some.
Actually, if you threaten litigation for something,
We can make that happen.
that would probably be
That's
the
true.
scariest.
That's true.
What's the noise Jason makes in Friday the 13th?
Yeah, also go to Patreon.com. That's the setting. Patreon.com/beerbusters. And hey, if you like the show and you've listened this long, you probably like the show. Give us a 5-star rating and review on your podcast.
Please do so. Please.
Application of choice, whether that be Apple Podcast, Stitcher, or what have you.
Think of it this way. If you like the show and you're listening to it and you're like, wow, I really think other people like this, but I don't have any friends to tell about it. If you give us a higher rating, algorithms will tell strangers for you.
And our research indicates that our listeners have no friends.
No.
That means you, Jeremy. No, sorry. I didn't mean you. I was trying to pick a random name, and I accidentally picked someone in the room.
I just happened to be sitting next to you.
Whose brewery's called Strong Arm?
I'm
Tough Arm. Tough Arm.
Tough Arm.
I'm talking to you, Douglas.
Brad.
You're so sad and alone. All right,
Beardless Brad.
Pick on
this
Beardless
shit.
Brad.
Yeah, we probably should.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, this does bring us to the end.
Or fortunately.
But either way, it's all subjective at this point. Of another episode of Beer Busters podcast. And it's been a lot of fun returning to the basement, and it's the trend that there's a shit ton of beers when we're in the basement.
And we're not done yet, kids.
Yeah, make sure you stick around for last call, those of you who have earned it. And if you haven't earned it, you still can if you go to patreon.com/beerbusters. Well, I am Dan Baker, and yes, I am joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course, the demented and fermented,
Wayne Thomas Baker Jr.
Full name this time, and I certainly appreciate that. No squids were harmed in the making of this particular episode, but we'll see you next time.
A bunch of characters thrown together.
Exactly. You win.
Yes.